Okay. Y'all give me a second. Let me get into the settings real quick. You can switch over to the headphones. And then we'll go from there. Boom. I think that's going to be it. That's us. We're in there. Let me jump over to the comment section. Damn, they're rolling fast. Okay. Let me jump into the comments real quick. Adjust the microphone. We're outside. It's a nice night outside. We got in here. Let me backtrack. Let me get up to the top. Got to show love to all the supporters, man. Thank y'all all for tuning in tonight. Well, we're going to get into a whole bunch of stuff. Y'all hit one if y'all can hear me okay. Before we even start, I need to make sure y'all can hear me. Okay, Raphael Galvin said 1. Dub, a.k.a. Dad, said S. Okay. We'll take that as a yes. Well, we got in the house tonight. The Ultimate Rage being the first comment tonight. Big salute. Tyler Thompson said, yo, Swag De Niro, big salute. The Ultimate Rage and Denzel Voice, my ninja. Swag De Niro. Gage Morris, how's your Saturday, Jay? It's good, man. Been lazy today. I got a lot done. Did a lot of recording, and then being a dad took over. Gage Morris said, yo, that Bill Feasy video part 2 had me like, what? Feasy is good, people. If you have not subscribed, please go check out Bill Feasy and subscribe, man. Dude is doing his thing. Great storyteller. Very funny, and if you're in a bad mood, he has a way of captivating you and changing your day. Little Rock in the building said D. Chapman. Stuff in Chattanooga said Justin Vandergive. Robbie said, yay. Jacob Campbell, what's up, big man? What up, though? Adam Morgan, what up, Jay? Respect. Stephanie Stuckey said, yo. Okay, now let's get on down. I don't even know where to start tonight. I got a lot to talk about. There's a lot that's irritating me with YouTube. And I'm not going to give too much away because I'm going to do some podcasts on this. And I had named the podcast Real Life Podcast, right? Without doing my homework. I go back and I look, and there's actually a real life production. So, to them, my bad. I would never try to jock anybody's style or steal anybody's name. Did not know that existed. Did not do my homework. So, we're going with Tell the Truth Podcast, Tell the Truth Productions, where we tell the truth, nothing but the truth. So, help me God. And that's how we're going to start every episode. So, now that I've filled y'all in on that, we got an episode coming up on Charleston White, right? And I'm just going to give you all my opinion, right? In the beginning, when this man first started, if you don't know who Charleston White is, then you've not been paying attention to YouTube. In the beginning, dude had a message. I believed in what he was talking about. A lot of it made sense. And then when he went viral, that's when all the nonsense came. That's when the crazy comments, the hatred. This man has said some despicable things. And it doesn't really blow my mind that he's still on, social media and all that. What really blows my mind is that there's a following, is that there's people standing behind him after the things he said. But we'll get into all that, like I said, in the actual podcast episode. I had recorded it. It's going to sound crazy. During my editing phase, I said, man, this is weak. This is weak. I went soft on this. This is weak. I can't put this out there because this man's reaction, his response is not going to be nothing nice. So I can't half step. I can't show him respect because he ain't show nobody else respect. So I'm going to redo it, and I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. Not being nice, not being humble, not showing respect because I'm not going to get no respect. So why would I give respect? That's the first thing. We got a lot of people here tonight, man. And I want to know, man, I'm going to do a poll. Does Charleston White speak for the black race? Does he speak for all black people? because it's like it's crazy that he's got a following and his message. He used to push a message right at one point. It was like it was aimed towards the children. It was aimed towards helping people, and then it became more. If I say something really messed up, I'll go viral. So then he started saying messed up things and more messed up things and more messed up things. Where I come from, you stand on your word. If you say something, that's what you said. I stand on that. I said it. I did that. But he'll do that. He'll say that and then he'll backtrack and be like, nah, 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 yeah, 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 no, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I would just, yeah, yeah. If you believe that, you stupid. You said it. What you mean we're stupid? You said it. So you're a liar? I mean, he said some things that I couldn't form my mouth to make those words with the R word and women. Like I could never form my lips to say I had done something like that. I couldn't even think like that. For him to think it means that he not only did he say it, he's thought about it. Right? Only a big salute, and that's what bothers me. Right? With the and it's crazy enough. It would be the Asian comments that got the community really riled up. But it's sad it had to come to that. Like that's what got y'all mad. Y'all weren't mad at the fact that he was running around talking about R. He was he was I mean, we're so censored with YouTube, we can't even speak no more. He was talking about taking advantage of women, right? And he preaches this message of hate and of war. And the dude legitly has and don't take this the wrong way, this is God's honest truth. He has an 1863 mindset. This dude is enslaved mentally. Like, and he talks about how him and other dudes have always done these terrible things to people, yet he plays the victim. He's always talking about these terrible things they've done, but he plays the victim. Like he's been done wrong in life. Like every opportunity that's handed to every other person out here has not been handed to him. So he figured out, hey, if I say a whole bunch of messed up stuff, they'll pay me for that. They'll watch me because ain't nobody gonna watch him if he's just himself. If he just gets up there with his little bow tie, ain't nobody watching him. So he says the most outlandish stuff, but he don't stand on it. And I can't respect that. If you said it, stand on it. William M said, Jay, your hat game is top notch. Appreciate it, man. Big into the hats. Ain't got no hair, so this is my hair. This is my hairstyle. But I really hope that people are not like really backing this man and supporting this man. Because if you backing, that means you're rocking with him. You push that message. Yeah, it's okay to what he say. He goes and talks to children, right? And these are his own words. This is his quotes. He talks to the children, and when nobody's looking, he whispers these messed up things in their ears. Now answer me this, right? You go into a school and you preach to the kids. You talk to the kids, and you put out a good message. What are kids gonna do when they leave the school? They don't go home and ride bikes no more. They don't go play in the neighborhood. Kids go home and they jump on some form of a tablet, a phone, a computer, something with a screen. And the first thing they're going to do after meeting this man or hearing about this man and hearing him talk is they're going to pull his name up. And that's when all the craziness comes into play. That's when you really get to see who he is. Now, these are kids that he's talking about he pushes this message to. One thing I ain't never seen this man, like, which any man shouldn't have a problem doing if you're a real man, is standing up for yours and fighting behind yours. And when I mean fighting, I'm not talking about picking up no gun, man. That's not fighting. That's what scared people do, or that's what you do when your life is in danger. But if you just got a conflict, some type of beef with somebody, you don't run and pop the trunk because the man's got something to say. And that is legitimately the message he pushes. Now, children leave the schools after seeing him or wherever his event, and they go pull his name up, and a straight message of hate comes up. Now you've got young, impressionable children that listen to this man that now dislike other races because of things he said, not knowing that he's just a clown. They're really taking that stuff to heart like he means that. And who knows? He probably does. You can't tell me he's not racist. He is 100% racist. I will never hear anything else. You cannot say those things and not have a heart full of hate. You can't. But the episode y'all gonna see, I was doing stupid stuff like editing out the fact that I was joking about the man's eye, joking about the fact that he's 154 pounds and shaped like a 9-year-old T-ball player out here running his mouth, that he's got guns that weigh more than he does. I'm editing all that out on a respect note, right? Like, man, I don't want to disrespect the man, but he's gonna disrespect me. You think he's gonna come in here and be like, yeah, 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 it's all good. Yeah, yeah. No, he's not. The first thing he's gonna do is he's gonna attack my color. Just based on the fact that I'm white. This dude's got it made in his mind that he can beat me just right off the rip because I'm a white dude. When in reality, I would Donkey Kong his ass right on top of his head and break his head. Put it right between his shoulder blades. Have him run around looking like Ichabod Crane. Not a fan of dude, man. I'm not a fan of no type of racist. Like I'm not. We've come too far, man. A lot's happened throughout the US's history, and some people just want to take us back there. They want everybody to be mad and enraged at something that when you look at it, none of us had anything to do with. I didn't have anything to do with none of that. Nobody I kick it with or know has anything to do with none of that. What you do is if you're racist and you hate white people, go find white people that hate black people and y'all beef. But leave the everyday people that don't have nothing to do with none of that out of it. You want people to take up arms and start attacking citizens and civilians and people that ain't done nothing for stuff that they didn't do. You got hardworking people to get up and go work a job every single day that ain't thinking about nothing this man is talking about. And then you got all these different people that actually listen to his Bobo the Clown message that are potentially running around and going to act on the things he's saying. And you know what he's going to do when somebody gets hurt? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was just joking. Yeah, he was an idiot for listening to me. What happens when that idiot was a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old and goes in his mom and dad's room and picks up his gun or something and goes outside and pops some little white kid because he really believed in what Charleston White said? Like there's no accountability in what people say no more. If I say it, I stand on it. And if I'm wrong, I'm man enough to admit it. I'll say, oh, I was wrong. I was wrong about this person. I shouldn't have said that. To date, there's not been a lot that I've been wrong about, man. And if I am wrong, like I said, I'll stand on it. Nick Rodriguez said, cancel culture is a badge of honor for some of these folks. Forty TV said, are you a racist if you're racist against racist? I'm not racist against racist. I don't like stupid people. Can I get a raise of hands and everybody that just likes stupid people? You shouldn't like stupid people. Now, it's one thing if you're mentally challenged. Okay, I don't fault you for that. But when you've got a brain that works and then you use that brain to influence others to do bad, I dislike you. You, that individual, not that entire race. That's like saying I got bit by a dog. Now I hate every dog I see in the world. The only difference is Charleston White ain't never been bit. Ain't nobody done nothing to him. He has been the aggressor. You know, this dude goes to the links. This is how sad this is, right? To try to push his message, to show his gangster, right? Show everybody how gangster he is. For y'all that don't know, it's all public knowledge. He caught a body when he was 14, him and 3 of his friends. This dude wants to paint the picture that he's so tough, right? That even though he didn't squeeze the trigger, he's, yeah, 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 I told him to squeeze the trigger. Yeah, yeah, he did that because I told him to. He tried to take claim for a body he didn't catch. You get what I'm saying there? Oh, I told him. So it makes him look bigger than he is. Here's the funny thing. If you told him to do it and you were the ringleader, why were you the first one to get out? I bet you ain't standing in front of that judge and tell that judge that you told that boy to squeeze that trigger because you probably didn't. Dude pop, dude. Now, many years later, you get on the internet and tell everybody, yeah, 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 I told him to do it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because it kind of solidifies the fact that you're hard. To date, you ain't popped nobody. Your homeboy did. And that's why he got the sentence he got and you got the sentence you got. I'm not going to run around just saying outlandish things to get attention. Y'all got me messed up, man. I ain't going to never get on here and disrespect no race. So what? So what? So I can make some money? If that's the only way you can make money, you're an idiot. And that's about the only way he can make money because he's not going to do no physical labor. He's not. I've seen shovels that weigh more than that man. Like real talk. I've picked up bags of gravel that weigh more than him. Racked Up Rob said, Jay, I cussed Charleston White out. He went on my page, got a picture of my 2-year-old daughter, sent her pic to me talking real crazy. If I run across him, I promise on everything I love, I'm gonna peel him. Here's the problem, right? And he said this himself. He's like, I can say whatever I want, and so much happens in the world that nobody's gonna do nothing. Oh, you got this going on, and you're beefing with your baby mama, and you're beefing with your baby daddy, and the bills is coming in. He's like, by the time you run into me, you ain't thinking about me no more. That's where he's wrong. That's where he's wrong. Because to this very day, there are some people in this world, and I hate to say this because I don't want to hurt nobody. I don't want no problems. But there are some people to this very day that if I run into them, I have to have them. I have an uncle. Listen to me. This is how far back it goes. I have an uncle that put his hands on me when I was like 10, 11 years old. You're talking 1990, 1991. And the last time I talked to him was 1997 on the phone. And I told him, I don't care when it is that I see you. When I see you, I'm going to punish you. I was an 11-year-old kid and you punched me like I was a grown man. You beat me up like I was a grown man at 11 years old. Well, I'm a whole entire grown man now. And when I see you, I'm going to see you. I'm going to put hands on you. He thinks that he can just say these things and that life takes over. And like dude just said, when he sees him, he's going to peel him. He's not going to forget what you people don't forget. They don't. Some people do. Some people are passive and they let it go. Not everybody's letting it go, man. Not everybody's letting it go. Like the situation, my uncle, I gotta have him. Y'all say what y'all want, man. The man can be 84 years old. And I'm just gonna be honest. He didn't care that I was 10. He didn't care that I was 11. He didn't care when he beat me up that I was just a child. As he was in the garage smoking hard, misplaced his pipe and sack, and came in the house and thought the 10-year-old kid laying on the couch asleep took it. He didn't care that I was 10 when he beat me up. So I'm not going to care if I run into him and he's 84. I'm not. Because he's still the same man that back in 1990, 1991 that beat me up. Same thing goes to Charleston White. He has said so much and offended so many people that he thinks he's got a pass. He thinks. And you know what's sad about these type of situations? This is the God's honest truth. And what's sad about this is he is going to get somebody else hurt. It's those guys are usually the ones that get grazed. And somebody else that knows he's out of line, that knows he's talking out the side of his neck and is crazy. You know, man, that's crazy for that man to be talking that way. But they ride with him because that's their friend. They'll be one of the ones that get hurt. And he'll be, oh man, just telling the story, cashing in. So y'all look out for that. And I've got to. I think that, man, there should be thousands of videos. That man shouldn't be able to sell a ticket nowhere. He shouldn't be able to sell tickets in a subway. But somehow, some way, people are promoting him. So it makes you question the people that are letting him through the door. Yo, I know they've done their due diligence. They have looked this man up. They have seen what he said about women, what he said about children. They've seen what he has said pretty much about every other race. But at the end of the day, it's about money. It's about money. You're gonna promote him? No. Y'all got me twisted, man. There's no amount of money that you can give me to make me agree to something. You can't buy me. You can't buy me. Jeremy James said he's going to get the same thing that 6ix9ine got, but worse. And see, and that's what happened with 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine, some time had passed, and what he say? I'm untouchable. How many times that man done said, ain't nobody done that to me yet? Ain't nobody touched me yet? He's saying that for the longest, right? Because just like Charles, he figured everybody's gonna move on with life. People gonna forget what I said. They're gonna be thinking about me. By the time they see me, they got other things going on. They ain't worried about me no more. Somebody got the call and said, "What? He's doing what? Pilates? Huh? I'm on my way." And this dude has made the comment that he's always strapped, right? He's always got somebody with him. He's always, if pictures can be taken of you and videos can be taken of you the same way they aim a camera, somebody can aim something else. It's that simple. If you drive an automobile and it's anything less than a tank, you can be touched at any moment. Sitting at a red light, going in a 7-Eleven to get you a drink, you can be touched. There's nobody out here that's invincible, untouchable. The only way you ain't gonna get touched is if you're driving a tank and then you step out in the Iron Man suit. Next to that, you can be touched. Please believe that. I've seen guys do Tweet. Tweet was an 88-time convicted felon. This man was a massive man. Struck terror in the entire prison. Walked around choking people out, beating people up, just a real life bully. And all it took was a couple shots and he was done. Point proven. Talatau said, my uncle hit me in the head with a shovel when I was a kid. I haven't seen him since. I'll never forget that man. I looked up to that guy. But yeah, it's on site. Same thing with me. Same thing with me. Man, my uncle he was like, I didn't really have a dad figure, right? I mean, I had my dad, but he wasn't nobody to look up to. So I thought my uncle was a cool dude. I really did. And I looked up to him. I followed him around. I'd come here to Richmond in the summertime, so Charlotte, and I'd be walking through the hood with him, and he'd be going to cop, and he'd be getting, getting his drink on. Him and my other uncle Albert Ray, they'd be drinking and doing all this crazy stuff. I looked up to this man. So in the moment that he put his hands on me, like, it changed my view on people. At 10 years old, somebody I trusted, I'm already getting beat down by my dad. But now this uncle dude that I'm supposed to look up to, that I looked at like a role model, that was doing all the wrong things, has now put his hands on me. Like, you don't forget, man. You don't forget. Six nine always acting gangster until the real gangsters showed up, said Bonjour Puto. Say, facts. Everybody's a gangster until a gangster shows up. Everybody's a killer until a killer shows up. We'd have heard that a million times. You know how many guys I seen in prison that ran around in there just with their chest poked out, picking on people because wasn't nobody really with it. Dudes wasn't really, don't come over here bothering me. I'm not worried about it. And then the real bully showed up, and then we watched him get bullied. Everybody's a gangster until a gangster shows up. And Charleston has clearly forgotten something, right? He's not the only man in America that owns guns. They didn't stop making guns when they made his. They didn't take everybody else's away. And it don't matter how many you got, how big they are, what the caliber is. None of that matters. None of that matters. I got a homeboy that was hit one time with a 22 right behind the ear. Never walked again. Spent the next 10 years laying in a bed with a tube in his throat. The next 10 years from a 22. It don't matter. You ain't got but two hands. So owning 100 guns ain't going to do nothing for you. It don't matter how big it is, what the caliber, how many you got in the clip, if somebody gets to drop on you. You know how many dudes die with their guns in their pocket or in their waistband or under their seat or in the glove compartment? You don't usually get a fair warning. And this ain't like the movies. I've been shot at. It's not like the movies. When somebody starts popping, you don't, okay, get low, take aim. We're going to do this. No, your first instinct is, oh, get out the way, get out the way. Where's it coming from? You're not thinking to try to pull and start doing this and that. No, your first instinct is to stay alive, get low, get out the way. And once you're out the way and you're behind something, and whoever it is that's coming at you is no longer like in your line of sight, then at that point you go for it and you start doing what you got to do to try to stay alive. But it's not like y'all see on TV. If you've never been drawn down on and had somebody start popping on you, then you don't know. It's way different in real life. When you're sitting there and that glass shatters, pow, and that whole window goes and that bullet comes through and that glass hits you on the side of the face, you're trying to get out the way because there's more coming through the window. And what you don't want to do is get hit by one of those. I know dudes that have climbed right past their gun over into the back seat and gone out the driver's side door from the passenger side door and left it in the car and took off running. Nobody trying to deal with that, but this dude has put himself in that situation. When did people stop realizing that money holds no value to a dead man? You can make all the money in the world. If you're not alive to spend it, what good is it? Misty Fisher, Jay, allow God to take care of those who've done you wrong. Please do not allow anyone to jeopardize your freedom, family, future that God has for you. I'm not saying I'm going to allow anybody to jeopardize anything. I'm not a stupid person. I'm not. I don't run around out here causing trouble. I'm a grown man. I'm quick to be like, hey, you got that. Go on, man. Because I know who I am. I know what I'm capable of. I'm scared of me. I am not scared of anyone else, but I'm scared of me. Because I don't know what he's capable of. 9 times out of 10, the guy you're facing is full of crap. He's just running his mouth trying to scare you. I'm scared of me because I know what's going to happen if me and him get into it. I know where I'm willing to take it. And that's scary. Will I ever see my uncle again? Probably not. He lives all the way up in Illinois. I'll probably never see him again. But if I do see him, what we're going to do is I'm going to pray on it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pray on it. They say you live and let go, but that goes back to accountability, man. You don't just get to beat up on children and just let it go. That's why so many people do that type of stuff right now, because we just let it go. Tired of letting things go, man. Checking my messages real quick. Turn the volume up. All right, who else we got in here tonight? So I get the rant, man. I miss your messages. If so, my bad. Adam Cox said, "You know what a badass you are, huh?" I hope you're joking, man. Don't come in here trying to clown me with a last name like Cox. And if you are, you're a troll. You are a troll. Let me get your little punk ass up out of here. Here you go. Go play, little boy. Go play. These are the same dudes that when they see me out in public want to take a picture. The same dudes that when they see me out in public, I'm all in their mouth. Nothing but the sack hanging out. That'll get on here and make these comments with these fake profiles, these fake names, like, and chances are it's somebody I know. A lot of times it's somebody I know or somebody I've met along the way. Clown shit. I will, hey, understand something. I will block your dumb ass. Well, this is my platform. Not about to come on here and run your mouth. Dude said you're a dork. You're a dork. What are you, time traveling? That's still a word. We say lame, goof, like you're a dork. Come on, man. He was 47 years old, still staying at his mama's house in the same room he grew up in. Last name Cox, wants to run his mom. Northside cool guy said, "No worries, Jay. Shout out from Canada. Philly Mike, how you feeling tonight, Jay?" "I'm good, Mike. How are you?" "I'm good. I can't complain." Newageplug Clip said, "Bye-bye." Yeah, you already know. Vixen said, "Jay, do you ever just joke around and play? You're a very serious guy." I do joke. I have a sense of humor. I laugh. I smile. I'm a father. Yeah, I joke. I am a serious guy, though. I'm a man. Like, I'm working on it. Let me say that I'm a work in progress. I had this discussion with my wife the other night. She was like, "You don't laugh a lot," and I'm like, I smile. I enjoy life. I love life. Life is great. Like, but at the same time, I've seen a lot. I've dealt with a lot. I've been through a lot, and it makes it hard to smile sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. It makes it hard to smile sometimes. Like when your day starts off after a long night of like nightmares and bad dreams, which I have quite a bit, and I don't even talk about them. I don't talk about them to my wife. I don't talk about them to nobody. But I have these reoccurring dreams, right? That I'll wake up sometimes drenched, and that sets the tone for my day. And them dreams, they're on my mind heavy. Like I have these reoccurring dreams that I'm locked back up. And I'm telling myself in my dream, "You're not really locked up, Jay. You're not really facing life, Jay. You're not locked up. Wake up, Jay. Wake up, Jay. Wake up, Jay." And in my dream, it's just chaos and all this stuff is going on. And I'm in these positions to where I have to do this or do that or do this or do that. And I can feel my heart beating out my chest in my sleep. Now, right before everything just completely hits the fan, boom, I wake up. So, yeah, it is hard to laugh and joke sometimes, but I do. I smile. I love my life. I can't stress that enough. I love my life. I love the life that I've created. A life that I once did not think I could ever have. I had the victim mentality. Oh, I'm a convicted felon. I come from nothing. Ain't nobody gonna give me nothing. Once I stopped thinking like that, and I set my mind to, I'm not gonna settle for less. I want it all, and I can get it the legit way. I want this. I want this. I want this. I'm gonna go get this. Once I set my mind to that, things changed. But as long as I sat there thinking, "Nah, I'll never have that," then that's what I got. I got nothing. Bring some people on real quick. Y'all, I'm gonna pause. Y'all, excuse me. I don't like. I'm not gonna drop the link on the screen, so I got to go to my messages to pull these up. Dun 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 dun. Mike Minnie, hey, thank you and salute, man. You found my guy. New Age. I am looking for a new plug. Message me real quick, man, so your message will come through. Cause I got your number in here, but I got a lot of numbers in here. Let me see. Dun, dun, dun. There you go. Boom, I got you right here. Benatar said, "Don't let it make your heart hard because of idiots. I know that feeling, bad dreams of the past. You've grown in the right frame of mind." I know, man. True indeed, but it's like I tell other content creators, it's easier said than done. Like when somebody's bashing them and people reach out to me and they were like, "Man, this dude said this and this and this, and it's really getting under my skin, and I want to do something." And I'll be like, "Just let it go." But then I know that it's easier said than done. I've not let it ruin me. Like I made it out, and I'm blessed, and I'm thankful for every day that I'm here. Every day I wake up on this earth. Every day that I wake up in my bed, you know, I get to see my children run around and live a life that I never lived. I'm very, very thankful, beyond humble. But the past, it leaves scars. We get cut. We go through things in life that cut us, and we try our best to heal. But in one way or another, we still bleed throughout life, and that's what it's been for me. I've tried to not dwell on the past, to let the things from the past affect me like that. But I mean, I would be lying if I said that they didn't. They do. It does bother me. All right, hold on. Dun, dun, dun. What does dude do? I just seen his. Okay, there we go. All right, my bad. Hogwire, hey, thank you and salute, man. Young Goat said, "Sup, looking to start a small business. Any suggestions? Make sure you know what you're doing before you start." Um, LLC. Hmm. Basically, make sure you know what you're doing before you start. That's the biggest thing when it comes to running a business. Once you become the boss, you don't have nobody to call and ask what to do. You don't. You've got to figure it out. So you don't go into to running a business and only know 90% of what's going on. No, you need to know it all. Shannon Lee said, "Thank you for all you do, Jay. I love your videos. I pray you continue to be blessed." Salute. Hey, thank you, Shannon Lee. Very nice comment. AZ Ruction, what's going on, my guy?
Hey, what up, brother? My bad. I didn't know you shot me the link.
You should have. It's all good, man. We all get busy. Just in here, just talking to everybody, man. I was telling about the Charleston White video we did.
Yeah,
And what did I tell you when I called you today?
that we got to redo it
Why?
because you felt like you didn't go as hard on him as he goes on everybody else. So why should he get the same type of treatment?
Do you agree?
Yeah, I do. I think we were more concerned with trying not to hurt well, not necessarily hurt feelings, but yeah, yeah,
See I'm respectful, man. I'm big on
right,
don't disrespect me. I won't disrespect you, right? But at the same time, not everybody gets that. Not everybody deserves that. If you don't disrespect me, I won't disrespect you. There are some people that they're just disrespectful in general, and that's what they're going to be met with, whether you've disrespected me or not.
right.
If that's all you're known for is disrespecting people and that in general, I'm not going to treat you with no type of decency. Nah, especially after I've. It's not like it's a rumor. I heard you say it.
Yeah,
I know what you think about me. I know what you think about other people. I know how you feel about me based on the color of my skin. Like I
yeah,
didn't. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he don't know this, but prior to being born, you don't get to check a box on what color you come out as. Like
hmm,
he didn't choose to be a black man. I didn't choose to be a white man. Not anybody here, not a single person on this panel, anybody watching, not one of us had a say so in the life that we were born into, the color we were when we came out, our status. We had nothing to do with that. So if you're gonna hate me, you hate me for something I did, something I said. I get it. But don't hate me for something that's 100% out of my control.
yeah,
So yeah, there is gonna be no there is no respect there because I don't respect him. I would never even be open to sitting down to a conversation because after what I've heard, there's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to talk about.
yeah. I don't know if if you want to mention his name, but the individual who passed away, there was that he was a big prison YouTuber. Uh, you know what I'm talking about. I know
Yeah, I
his
do.
name. I'm just saying. I just don't know if you wanted me to say it or not. But
Savage Studios.
yeah, so it was like the same thing. Like a lot of disrespectful videos came out when he had passed, and one included, and I got hit up a lot. Like people were saying all kinds of crazy stuff too. Like, oh, you shouldn't speak about somebody who passed away like that. But it was also like what we're getting at with Charleston White. It's like that dude disrespected people's dead moms, people's dead homies. He would make insane, crazy videos. But then when it came down to where it was his turn, a lot of people were like, man, people should respect it and this and that. You know what I mean? And I kind of feel like that's the same thing with Charleston White. Because look
Yeah,
how
but
many videos he's made disrespecting the dead. He openly talks about that stuff. Watch the videos that come out when it happens to him. It's going to be insane.
right. I just but you and Savage had a personal beef also, right?
Yeah,
So it makes it a little more personal because y'all had gone back and forth. Like I did a video on the whole Savage passing, and I
yeah,
kept it as respectful as possible when it came to him, because for the most part, did he say some messed up things? Yeah. Did he disrespect um people that were dead, people's family members? Absolutely. But
organization.
here's what kept me from going at that dude in that manner. I could see what his issue was. His issue was the drinking. Because you could see it. When he wasn't drinking and he was on camera, he was a completely different person.
Yeah, yeah.
But then he would drink and he would get on there and he would rant. And that's when he would say these things, right or wrong.
No, you're absolutely right. Because
Okay,
the real him would come out when he would be drunk.
correct. Charleston White could wake up first thing in the morning over a cup of coffee and disrespect half the world. You know what I mean? Dead sober with
Right.
the disease commonly known as gingivitis floating around his little crooked mouth and come straight out his mouth the first thing in the morning preaching hate.
Yeah.
With Savage, it was more along the lines of the man couldn't hold his liquor, and then he would go on, go in on people. When I seen like the video of like his family and people saying, "Look, yes, he said some messed up things, let him rest in peace," I did feel sympathy. I know what it is to be an alcoholic and offend people. I've had a
Right.
million situations where I had to wake up the next day and
Yeah.
apologize to a bunch of people for something I didn't even remember doing.
Right. Right.
With Charleston, he knows everything he said.
Yeah.
And he will say it and say it and say it. Whenever you get on screen and you start screaming, "I hate, I hate, I hate,"
Yeah.
that's how you feel, and that's why with him there is no, there's nothing nice to be said, man. There's
Yeah.
nothing nice. I got nothing nice to say. I know how you feel about me. You've told me without talking or saying my name. You've told me how you feel about me and the entire white race. You've told me how you feel about the entire Asian race. You've told me what you think should happen to all white women, all Asian women. You've told me these things.
Yeah.
And you don't get to go back and say, nah, 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 I was just playing. Because I can guarantee you this, to a woman that's been through that, to a woman that's been victimized like that, that hears something like that, she don't find that funny.
Right.
To a woman that deals with the trauma that comes from being taken advantage of by a man or several men, she don't find that funny. I can guarantee you, she heard Charleston White say that, it turned her stomach, and from that moment there, she has hated his guts.
Mm-hmm.
And it's bigger than just words. There's no accountability. That's why I won't get on here and make a fake account and like post things and do this and do that. If I said it,
Yeah.
I said it. I want you to know I said it.
Right.
Like this right here, I decided to talk about this tonight because I didn't want to be able to go back and edit what I had to say tonight.
Yeah.
I
Definitely.
said I'm gonna say it. They can hear I said it. He can watch it tomorrow. I'll tag him in it, and if he feels the type of way, you'll see his ignorance right out the gate. Because the first thing he's gonna do is go at me based on the color of my skin, when that ain't
Yep.
got shit to do with nothing.
Nope.
I feel the way I feel about you because of the things you've said. Not at no point has anything ever been aimed at the fact that you're a black man. I give two shits what color you are. It's the things that are coming out your mouth.
Yep. That's facts.
Like the dude has the gift of gab, and I hate to see somebody waste a gift. He has a gift. He has the gift to be able to reach people, the masses, and get them to listen to him. And now
Yeah,
he's feeding
definitely.
them straight trash. He's shoving shit down their throats, man. Shoving hatred down their throats. He honestly wants people to. He wants to see a war pop off. He wants to see white people and black people and Asian people and all of us at war with each other. For what? For what?
All comes down to a financial gain too. He's making money. How much did you tell me he was making for appearances?
A lot. A lot. Like I'm not gonna get into what I know, but I know he gets paid just for 30 minutes, a crazy amount of money.
Yeah,
For an hour, a crazy amount of money. And people are paying it. And you know why they're paying it? Because these days people are more concerned with views than they are morals. They're
yeah,
more concerned with how big that Google check is gonna be they get from YouTube than if they really support what this man says. To get on camera, and I watched an interview the other day, right? And he was talking that the stuff that he thinks all women should go through and all women should be art and this and that. And the guys that were recording him were laughing and joking. These are fathers, dudes that have daughters. Some of these dudes got granddaughters. All these dudes got a mom or had one at some point. Aunts, sisters, and they're all laughing. And I'm sitting there thinking, why has nobody come across the table and just cleaned this man's clock? Just tightened him up one time and just knocked his eye back straight. Why? You want to go viral? Knock him out on camera. Yeah, he's probably not going to come back on camera, but he deserves it. He deserves it.
right.
And that's all he's doing at this point, man. That man ain't got no message. All he cares about is staying relevant. Staying relevant, because he's not relevant. It's the things that are coming out of his mouth that's got people's attention. He's going to
Yeah,
wake up tomorrow, figure out, he's going to say, what's the most vile thing I can say today to
right.
go viral again? Because viral, as we all know, is what gets you paid. And he
Yeah.
don't care what he says. He's gone at everybody. You see it, it's a pattern. He tried to go at Kevin Gates, and Kevin Gates killed him with kindness. He was like, damn. I didn't expect that. All right, salute. That was cool. Like he couldn't get on the Gates skin. Gates discipline like that to where he's like, he's not gonna let him, bother him like that. And I'm not gonna say I don't lose no sleep over Charleston White. I don't get off the internet and get bothered, but it bothers me that I turn it on and he's still there with that message of hate. That bothers me. Yeah, absolutely. How
Yeah.
could I say it don't? Living
We
light said
also
facts. I'm disabled and I want to fight him, and I'm a girl. I don't. That man, look, he said that he will not go anywhere. He will not go to any venue where he cannot take the gun or he cannot take the knife. he won't even. He's not even going if he can't take one of the two in. And it's not necessarily because he's afraid somebody's going to do something to him with a weapon. It's because he's afraid somebody's going to do something to him in general. That dude is 154 pounds. And no offense to anybody that's lightweight or got a lighter weight, but if you're 154 pounds, unless your last name is Mayweather, you probably shouldn't be running around talking shit.
and here's what I want to know is if you are doing it for the check and you are going this extra mile for the money, what's the end game with that? Because still at the end of the day, at some point in time, it's going to be hard for you to walk around.
It's like
Especially, what are you gonna pay for security? I guess for the rest of
he's
your life.
he's
You
got
make
the
that much.
6'9" syndrome, man. He's
Mm-hmm.
got the 6'9" syndrome. That's what I'm
That's
gonna
what
call it.
happened.
He thinks that like even 6'9", I'm the king of New York. Ain't nobody touched me. Ain't no and until till he was curled up in the corner like an old condom getting stepped on. You know what I mean? It's the same
Yeah.
thing with this dude. Guess what, man? One day you're gonna get canceled from social media. You're gonna get canceled, and when you do that, money's gonna slow up. And when that
Yep.
money slows up, that circle of people around you start to go away because they've got to go back to work in their jobs. They can't travel with you all day and have you finance their life. Now they really got to go work because you're not getting the bag no more.
Yep.
So now your circle gets smaller and now you're back out there. And it can be 5 years, it can be 10 years, it can be 15 years. I don't think none of us are going to be shocked when we turn on the internet and we hear that somebody did him real dirty.
No.
You know what I mean? And depending on what state he's in, Let you get this through your head. Not all states, and he travels. Not all states do you get to shoot somebody because they punched you in your face. In some states, they're gonna pull up and be like, "Hold on, so the man punched you and you shot him. Oh, turn around, put your hands behind your back. You're going to jail." So his motto is, "I'm willing to die, kill, or go to prison behind what comes out my mouth." Wow, that's what's up. You're only gonna spend so much of that money on commissary. Living Life said they should televise that ass whooping. They should. They should. It should play on every channel 24 hours straight, man. 6ix9ine is a perfect example of
Yep.
thinking that there is no consequences for what happens, for the things that come out your mouth. And even with 6ix9ine, I hate when people try to defend this dude, right? And they say, well, look at why he told. He told because of this. He told, but man, that dude would have told regardless.
Yep.
Had they not smashed his baby mama, had they not made threats against him, had they not done this, they not done that, that dude would have told regardless. Y'all tripping thinking that he could have been best friends with everybody. They could have been coming from his wedding reception and got pulled over and he would have told on everybody. Some people just are not built mentally. Now take physically out the equation. Some people are not built mentally to do time. Now you got to remember he had sat down several times now behind dealing with these dudes. A year here, a year there. He'd already done small amounts of time. Then they come at him talking about, you can be doing 40, 50. Shh, they did it. They did it. He didn't have to
Wait,
do him
too.
wrong. Yes, he wasn't. He was waiting to look, tell on everybody you come home today. Nobody's done you wrong. And he's still gonna tell on everybody.
Yep.
And that's a lot of people these days. You know why prison's full of so many people? Because a lot of those dudes just didn't have nobody to tell on. And that's the truth. Had they had somebody to tell on that had done something bigger than what they had done, prisons wouldn't have that many people in them. But it's hard to outdo what you've done unless you're running with like a whole entire group of savages. Once you catch a body, unless you can top your body, like you can tell about 3 or 4 bodies, you're going to prison. At that point, they don't care about who's hustling, who's stealing cars, who's got this, who's got weight. They don't care about none of that. You got to top this body you just caught. And that's why there's so many people doing time for that type of stuff, because they didn't have nobody to tell on. Not because they wouldn't tell, they just didn't have nobody to tell on.
Mm-hmm.
My dude Woody in the chat. What's good, Woody? New Life of Woody. Y'all make sure y'all go check out New Life
Salute,
of Woody.
Woody.
That is my guy, man.
Definitely.
Oh yeah,
Been
Woody
enjoying the
he
content.
broke his collarbone yesterday. You heard me?
Dang.
Yeah, he fell off a ladder at work. For y'all know he's doing HVAC work. He fell and he kind of clipped it, broke his collarbone. I said, too old for
That
all that, man.
collarbone's no joke.
I've seen a couple different people get them broken. It's a bad heel.
Yeah.
And then it leaves that big knot right here. Like,
Yep.
I don't want no
Oof.
parts of that, man. I'm
Yeah, I think
43. I'm
I'm
not
used
trying
to
to like, it's like every time I get hurt, it hurts more than it's supposed to hurt.
it.
I feel like a little kid. I'm sitting there holding my knee. And my
Hey,
hip be hurt.
when I got a little bit after I got out of prison, I got right back into BMXing and skateboarding, and I just started skateboarding again. I was going over the spine and transferring over, and I had a couple spills, but they weren't bad. Man, I landed so hard on my hip. I just laid there, and my buddy that I was with, he just turned 21, and he comes over and he's like, "Hey, bro, are you all right?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, just leave me here for like 15, maybe 10 minutes." And I felt that for like 2 weeks.
Hey, look, our last house, man. It was the house before that, 2-story house. The power hadn't been turned on, right? We moving in. Well, we're going to look at the house before we decide if we're gonna take it or not. And it's nighttime, and everybody else is leaving out the front door, and I'm walking down the hallway. Now, you ever been walking and approaching some steps and don't realize that you've come up on the steps yet?
Yeah.
So I'm just walking. Now you got to think it's 17 steps down. I'm walking, and I step, and all of a sudden there's no ground there.
Oh
And
man.
head over heels, shoot, do. I fall all the way to the bottom, right? Crash, boom. They come running in. You okay? You okay? You know what I said? Leave me alone. Get away from me. Don't say another word. Don't mention. Just get out. Get out. Like I wanted everybody to get out the house.
Hey, that stepping down the stairs part. The worst part about it almost is getting the part that's almost as bad as getting hurt is the feeling in your stomach when you realize that you have just you have just effed up right now. And you know, in that 3 seconds that you just made a bad move. And that's the worst part because your stomach just, it hurts.
Hey, I was roofing. Hey, salute New Age. What's good with you?
Salute plug.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I was
Good,
roofing one
bro.
time, right? And you know how, like, if you ever roofed, you'll take the safety off of
Yeah.
your gun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Otherwise, you got to squeeze the trigger, like fully squeeze it every time. You can take that spring out and take the safety off so you can
Yep.
just
Da, da, da,
fire,
da, da.
right? So, I'm on the pad and I tell the dude, I'm like, "You toss me my gun." I left my gun over on the walkway and he tosses it to me and it lands in my lap. And as soon as it landed, it went, went off 5 times,
Ooh.
right? I had on these black cargo shorts. And it goes back to what you said in the first 3 seconds and you realize you messed up. So I picked the gun up out my lap and I look down at these black cargo shorts and I see 5 silver circles
Ooh.
right on top of my thigh, right? And I'm like, uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. And he's like, what? And I let the gun go and it slides off the roof and into the bushes. And I grab my shorts and I pull. And he's like, yeah, that's all bad. You know, the roofing nails, they got those they come in a coil. So it leaves that little piece of copper hanging off of them.
Yep. Yep.
Such a terrible, terrible thing, man.
Yeah, facts, bro. Hey,
What you
man.
got going on tonight, man? That was a good live earlier, by the way. Now, for y'all that don't know who Newageplug is, you must have been sleeping on the rock. Make sure you go check out Newageplug and
Yeah.
Newageplug Clips, man. He is becoming very fast one of my favorite channels, man.
Definitely.
Boston Boss in the house. Salute, Ronnie Blue Eyes.
Hey, I know
Ronnie.
a lot of people's putting it just the phone down, and while they're working, they're listening to the drama. Like a lot of people like it because our own drama. We can kind of escape it a little bit on YouTube. We
Right.
could kind of like just go into a wormhole. We could kind of laugh at all these characters on here. I won't give no names, no clout, no free clout. But we
Cloud sold
laugh.
separately.
Yeah, soul separately. Yep. Yeah. So that's why I like YouTube, man. We can kind of, like, I just watched Mob James the other day. I'll give him clout because shout out to Mob James. But like I just watched him the other day. I'm like, dang, bro. You can just go in so many different lanes on YouTube, bro. It's crazy.
Right.
Yeah, you always look at a lot of people and break it down how they could do YouTube. It's interesting to listen to, that's for sure.
Well, New Age, he keeps it fresh, man. He does. Like, even though
Yep.
he'll revisit things, he always and just to make this clear, his thumbnail game is impeccable.
Yeah, let's
Like,
go.
I get to looking at his thumbnail sometimes. I'm like, man, this mother, man. Like, I ain't gonna say I'm hating, but you see, like, when somebody's good at something, and you got to give them their respect, man. And dude is definitely good at what he does, man. 100%.
Kills it.
I
Got
I have
money.
appreciate
him make I have him make thumbnails now.
You what?
I have him make my thumbnails a lot of times now.
Yeah. Hey,
bro. I can do
why
his.
wouldn't you?
I can try to do AZ style a little bit too. I can never do it just like him, but I'll even adapt his style a little bit. You seen that AZ? A couple times we've done that.
Yeah.
But
You
Hey,
do good though.
it's
you,
a art. I think the thumbnails, man, it comes from me all the years grinding of rapping, bro. My trying to get my music out, and I would make the album cover before I would do the songs, the music. So I would build everything around that cover, and I kind of do that with the thumbnails now too. Like before I go live, I'm like, man, I'll have a pre-thumbnail and I'll have a thumbnail later. Like that's usually what I do. Like the live we had today. Again, we're not going to give anybody no more free clout, but the live we had today about what the gentleman we were doing it on, I'll change that thumbnail up. You know what I mean? I think the thumbnail's part of it, bro. It's like the album cover.
the thumbnail is everything. When you're scrolling YouTube, you're not usually reading the description of the videos. You're looking at thumbnails. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the first thing that catches you is the thumbnail.
Yep.
And then from there you read the title of the video. So if it's a lot of times it's like judging a book by its cover. Some of the
Right.
best videos have just terrible thumbnails. But if you can make a fire thumbnail, you might have a shitty video and get a lot of traction with it.
Yep.
But your thumbnails are definitely on point. And then the cast you put together a lot of times is great also. Like tonight's video kind of just shocked me because I know nothing about that dude or what he's got going on. Or, I'd heard he was locked up, whatever. That's part of the game. But tonight's video, like, what came from out of left field.
Yeah. A plug. is probably like one of the best dudes at networking, and I tell him all the time, like his networking game is unreal. Like he's gotten so all the guests that have been on the YouTube Streets podcast, he's gotten.
Right.
Me and Ronnie didn't get them.
I'm not gonna lie.
He did.
Particularly that female did contact Mr. Zebby, and Zebby didn't want to do it. I had to
Zebby.
Bro. I had to drag him up there, and I'm so glad he stood up there with me, bro. And I appreciate Zebby. Zebby, he's got some big things coming too. And I know Jay's close to Zebby. I know y'all know everything about that, but it's crazy, man.
I know nothing.
Well, Zebby, he's got some big stuff coming.
What are you talking about? I know nothing.
Exactly.
You'll never hear anybody ever tell you what Jay Williams said. Never, ever.
Yeah.
I
Just
mean,
just like your Instagram reel, that was real, bro. Like you said,
yeah.
like, if you didn't have me, I'm gonna keep that. I love that.
Yeah, you know, and it's not aimed at nobody. Things like when I say things like that, those are the things I think. Like, and it became apparent to me, right? And I'm gonna tell you a story real quick.
Mhm.
I had a dude that worked for me once, right? And I ended up having to fire some guys. And this guy was very close to me, the guy that worked for me. I'd known this guy since I was a teenager. He was my lead guy. So not only are you my foreman, but you're my friend, huh? We built this together. So you're supposed to have my best interest at heart, right? Like if you see something taking place and I'm not around, I expect you to step in and take care of it. After I fired all these people, he comes to me and starts telling me all the things they were saying about me, right?
Mm.
And the first thing that came to my mind is, if you're my ace, right? You're my dude, you're my dog. Like everybody knows we're good friends outside of work. Why did everybody feel so comfortable talking bad about me to you?
Hey, that's facts.
Like if you're my best friend and everybody knows you rock with me, you ride with me, like we're like that. Why would somebody feel comfortable talking bad about me to you? Unless you talked bad about me. What are you saying as they're sitting there bad mouthing me?
Mm-hmm.
Because
people,
I hate that I don't find it out till they're all gone. I should have known that the day it was said, so I could have addressed it right then and there. I'm not saying in a violent manner, but I should have had the right to address that. But we're talking, you're now telling me things that have been being said about me for 3-4 months. And what if they wouldn't have got fired? I'd have never found out.
a lot of times, people have it backwards with friends. They think it's, quantity over quality.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And a lot of people do that a lot with friendships.
I fired so many people that day. When I'm talking about so many people, I was so like, and I'm very professional when it comes to business. But when I see like people around me trying to tear down something I've worked hard to build, yeah, I'm gonna get in my feelings. I'm not Adam 22. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna just sit there looking scary in the face. No, I will spaz. I will turn sped real quick. Like I'll turn up in there. And dudes are looking at me all crazy out their face when I fire dude. And I'm like, what? And I know y'all been talking about me too. So you know what? Get the fuck out of here too. You. Anybody got a problem with it? Shut the door. And we're in this big warehouse. I'm like, shut the door. And they all just single file like kindergartners started walking out the door. It bothers you, man. Like I have trust issues, and it's because of dudes like that. It's 2023 where if you can find somebody that's actually a friend that's not going to badmouth you and talk behind your back, hold on to that, man, because there's not many of those out there. They're not. They're a dying breed.
Quality over quantity.
Uh-huh. Y'all have the links, so if there's anybody you want to shop it out to, send it out to, feel free to do that.
I have a whole other pod that's live. It's called The Association. I came up here because you sent me the link, and I wanted to be respectful, man. And
hey, I dropped it
because there's a lot of drama going on in the sector, man. So they're over there chopping it up, man. So I appreciate you.
Well, I hope I wasn't trying to run over top of nobody. So if I did that,
man, good, bro. You're good.
Definitely was not intentional, man. I would never go live over top of somebody, man. That's you respect the game.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nah, man. I feel like right now, the YouTube, you're seeing a new gen come. So you got a lot of new guys. You got when it comes to the no jumper breaking up, it opened the gate up. You got Seti Nash coming up. You got, the gate.
Shout out to Seti and salute to Seti, man. I've talked with Seti before. Seti's good people, man. Salute to Seti.
Yep.
I remember when he had like 12,000 subs. He's killing it right now.
He is, bro. His word means something right now. That's King AK-47. His word means something right now. His song Campbell maybe not so much because he lied about his channel getting took down. You know, King AK-47 revealed that today. He obviously put it hidden. So what happened was
He
Hassan.
had him on too.
Yeah, yeah. So Hassan Campbell, he got a strike, right? And then so he made it seem like Fat Joe got his channel took down. It's not the case. He just hid it. He put it hidden for a week. He's back. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
Clout, man. I'm telling you.
Sorry, I'm just reading some of the comments. Let me
Yeah.
answer this real quick because
Yeah.
Brandon Jewel, what up, my dude? Much love, bro. How's the family? How's little Bubba and your brother doing since being out? They're both locked back up. Any news on Jacob's parole? He was turned down. And Bill Feezy's laugh absolutely brings happiness to anyone. I can't even do it. Feezy's awesome. Man. I
Hey,
had to, I
he's
had to
funny.
contain myself when he would start laughing. Like I would have to contain myself. I'd have to prepare myself for it. When I knew something funny was coming up and he was going to laugh, I'd have to like hold my breath. You know, like when somebody's acting on TV, you don't want to. Like when Martin was out, I've seen clips of like Martin performing and like Tommy and them being on there, and they'd be like trying to cover their face because they're laughing at his performance. I really had to hold it in when Feezy would start laughing because his laugh is contagious, man.
It is. Hey, he was good at telling the stories too.
He is, man. He's
It was
awesome.
entertaining.
Y'all make sure y'all check him out. Very entertaining. Joe Baker,
Yeah.
very entertaining.
Mhm.
Them two dudes right there have a long career. And Feezy, for y'all don't know about Bill Feezy, he went viral while in prison doing TikToks. And he got locked up behind a phone and didn't even realize he had gone viral until he got out the hole and got his hands on another phone. He literally said he posted
So
the
wild.
video, and 5 minutes after he posted the video, the CO showed up to his cell and was like, come here, come here. And he said he had no warning they were coming, so he threw the phone in a chip bag real quick. And they just literally had watched him post the video. And so they ran up in there and got him, and he went to the hole and he came out and he went viral.
That's crazy.
My dude, Southside Frog, man, Frog is a friend of mine since back in the early 90s, man. One of the few guys that I still have left out here in the streets. And I appreciate you and I love you, Frog, man. You're my guy.
Salute.
Did you guys touch on the recent incident with 6ix9ine?
A little bit. It's you know what's sad, man. There's because I always try to look at things from every angle, and this is what I see with a lot of these rappers. Right, they make this music, and people believe what they hear in the music, and then they're one person when they're not doing music, and there's somebody else when they make the music. Well, once you make it in the industry, you have to become that person. Like you no longer just get to be yourself. If you're a gangster rapper, people expect you to be a gangster rapper all the time. And unfortunately, with him, he was just this little guy, just this little dude from New York that made some music, got around the wrong people, and he had to put on this costume and become this person that he wasn't. You know, he wasn't. A lot of these rappers do that. They write these lyrics that paint one picture when in reality there's somebody else, and then they blow up, and you have to essentially become the character you created. And that's what 6ix9ine was. He was a character, and then he put himself around all the wrong people.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know it, he went from rapping about something to really living that life.
But you know what made me switch was that TMZ video when he put I got the 30 rack on Chief Keef. When
Oh
he's
yeah.
and that's when it was like, bro, not a regular person, they wouldn't have done that, bro. He was really, you're right. He got lost in the sauce. But he took it too far, and I think bro, he knows better. He know. Who was saying it was staged? A lot of people saying it was staged.
I thought it was staged at first. You know what I thought? I was really thinking, I'm like, this dude is becoming irrelevant. His name ain't popping. Like, we ain't heard nothing of him. It would make perfect sense for him to stage a beat down. But then when I seen like the actual, not just a little clip, have you seen the entire video? Like with dudes sitting on him and everything?
Yep, twirling them around, everything.
At that point there, I was like, nah, man, you can't pay me to take that type of beat down. Like, there ain't nah. No. I like halfway through that, I'd have been like, hold up, man, hold up. Y'all, I ain't pay y'all to do all this. You just broke my ribs. Like, Come on, man. Like, no, it wasn't staged. I thought it was. I even texted you that when you messaged me and you said you gonna touch on the 6ix9ine. I said, I'm not sure it's real, man. I think it was staged. And
Mm-hmm.
then when I seen the whole video, I said, no, that right there is a validated ass whooping. Like that, you can't make that up. That's a
I,
real beatdown. That dude just got stomped out, man. That dude just like stepped on him like a cigarette butt. Like, and he ain't even. Here's the sad part. He didn't do nothing. If I know you record me, win, lose, or draw, I'm swinging on somebody when I get up. You're gonna at least say, man, he got up and he got knocked out a second time, but he got up and tried. He got up and all he said is, man,
yeah.
y'all jumped me. Y'all jump. Like it mattered. Like it mattered
Well,
that they jumped you. It could have been one dude. It would have been the same outcome.
Zebby brought this up to me. He's like, 6ix9ine walked back in the bathroom, and I think after it might have all been real, but at that time, I think he was trying to get a little bit of some clout after he got beat up. I know
What clout was there to get?
I,
At that point there, you need to get far away from every camera.
he doesn't look at it like that. They look at it like he looked at it at that point. He's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get a check. I'm suing LA Fitness, and then I'm going to get some more clout out of it. That's what it looked like to me, but that could be false. But why do you walk back in the bathroom? Like, just get out of the situation. You would think you'd run.
Because he's an idiot. Why do you show up to a fitness place without security? Like I seen the one dude now when they were coming in, but they were actually employees. I'm like, okay, there's security. That wasn't security. That was the people that worked there just going to check
Right.
on the fight in the bathroom. Like, should have. That's what. At one point, he had the money where he could pay for security every day. That money's running out.
I honestly don't think he can afford 24-hour security.
No, you can't. It's very expensive. Not only that, you got to think of all the money he spent on the cars, the jewelry. But at the same time, he's buying Birkin bags, which some bags are not cheap, man. I done bought my wife some bags that you could get a used car for. I'm ashamed to say it, but it's the truth. He ain't got that money like that. Where's the money coming from now?
Well, he's got Whack 100 managed him doing diaper deals in Mexico, but he's not making music.
Well, I don't know if you know or not, but diapers isn't what Mexico's known for selling. So he might have cut the wrong deal.
Yeah, Whack 100's his manager. He actually told Whack 100, like, I hope 6ix9ine gets well.
I mean, he's what? He's lucky to be alive, man. We live in a different world where, it's just you catch a beat down and it gets posted. There was a time where that was a death sentence. What he had done, like they legitimately would have had to put him in the witness protection. They'd have had to move him to somewhere where they didn't have Wi-Fi, cable, or television. Yeah. But today's world, it's just he's not the only person that's told, man. People tell all the time. And you know how people look at it? Well, he ain't tell on me. That's most people's mindset. He ain't tell on me. People really don't care until they're the ones that's told on. And then once they get told on, then it's an issue. But as long as he ain't telling me, I don't care. And that's really how I've heard people say that. I had a dude look, I got into it with this dude in the jail. And it was nothing race related. It was his comment. It was a black dude from Petersburg, which is like a poor part of Virginia. Yep. This dude was standing in front of me. I wasn't in his conversation. I shouldn't have gotten his conversation, but his comment bothered me so much that I ended up getting into it with this dude. This dude was talking to somebody else, and he was like, shit, man, straight up. He was like, I ain't never told on no black dude. He's like, but I'll tell on a white boy quick. He's like, that ain't snitching if you tell on a white boy. And it was bad timing. I was not feeling being locked up at that moment. I was not feeling being standing in that chow hall for them 2 boiled eggs and that biscuit, and Purina. It was just a bad day. And I was like, what'd you say? And he turned around on some, ain't nobody talking to you. I'm like, I'm talking to you, man. What did you just say? That telling on a white dude's not snitching. I said, if you'll snitch on me, you'll snitch on anybody. And it turned into a big thing. But dude, it just goes back to some people's mindsets, man. He legitimately said, and dude even argued with him. Dude was like, nah, homeboy, you wrong. Like, if you telling, you telling. He was like, nah, man. If you telling the homies or something, that's snitching. But telling on a white boy ain't snitching. What? No, I got you. You know what? We could fight behind it. And we did. I didn't get my boiled eggs that morning. Straight up.
Hey, but I feel like anybody that's real is gonna say something anyways.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say something if I hear that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy.
It's kind of weird how it's not weird, but Alpo, the way he went out, he didn't go out for the snitching. He went out for something way different. And 6ix9ine, they're saying that's what happened with him. He actually did something else for them guys to do that to him. I think ultimately that might be the end of might be the way he goes out. Is something because he just doesn't stop being disrespectful. It's steady, bro. He's disrespecting organizations. He's loose. He's real loose. He got caught slipping. He's lucky he's not dead right now.
Oh no, for sure, for sure.
And then you got some guys that are putting like GoFundMe's out for the attackers and stuff. Uh, that should be just private. I mean, if they feel like that, I feel like they need to do that private. But that's just me, man. It's not good for the youth to see that.
Man, that goes back to the whole Charleston White thing we were talking about. It's not good for the youth to see that. Like, unless you just completely strip your children of tablets, phone, and all that, they've already seen that much worse. You know what I mean? There was a
Yeah,
time when,
true.
like, even with like porn and stuff, you had to like sneak and find a videotape or a DVD or something.
Yep.
Now, any child in America can type in XXX on the screen, just thinking he's typing in alphabets, and it's going to be real bad with what pops up next.
Yep.
Your kid's going to be go from watching Blues Clues to blue balls. Like, it's going to be bad.
And they're smart. They'll figure out passwords, how to get around stuff.
Oh, we've got the Google Home, right? Which is this thing, like, I don't know if you know what that is, but like we got smart lighting and whatnot. So we have this thing, it's called the Google Nest. And my son will literally go sit at the breakfast table and go, "Hey Google, play such and such, such and such," and it'll just start playing it. So he can just pretty much tell it to play whatever, and say he says duck and it don't sound like duck. I'm gonna have to run over there real quick and be like, "Google, stop, stop, stop." Or all of a sudden the wrong thing's gonna pop up. Like, people seeing 6ix9ine get beat up is really the least of our problems right now. I had a nephew that got beat up last year in school, and it was on video. It was passed around. He was beat up by a kid twice his size. Like, a little dude is just smart. He don't bother nobody, and the school did nothing about it. They did absolutely like nothing about it. Didn't suspend the kid. I told my wife, I said, that couldn't have been me. You're passing around videos of my child being beat up and another kid. Like, I'm not gonna do nothing to the child, but I need to see his dad. And we need to talk about it. And I need to know that you're gonna discipline your son. Or, as much as I hate to say it, I'm probably gonna beat you up in front of your son. That's my kid, man. I love my children. And I've talked about this with my wife. I said, I don't know. Like, I know, and shout out to Lockdown 23-1. He had a situation where one of his kids got hurt. And
I remember that.
I don't know, man. I don't know that. I really believe that if somebody was to do something to one of my kids, I don't love anything in this world like I love my kids. I can say that honestly. I love my wife. Don't let me like try to downplay it like I don't. I love my wife, but when it comes to my kids, there's a love there that cannot be explained. And if you were to hurt one of them or bring, tears out of one of their eyes, you're gonna bring the Hulk out of me. My first reaction is going to be to make sure they're okay. And then my second reaction is going to be go to the bank and pull out bail money.
Facts.
What did Trey B. Moore said? My son got into a fight in the bathroom when it was all around school. My son got his thing off and didn't start it. Hey, that's okay. I've told my son, don't go around being a bully and don't let nobody put their hands on you. I'm not telling you to fight, but you never let nobody put their hands on you.
Yep.
Like, you let them know, look, I don't want to fight, man. I'm like, it's always better to just turn your back, not turn your back, don't turn your back on them, but just walk away from it. Don't try to be the aggressor. But I'm telling you now, and his mama's like, you don't fight. And I'm like, look, don't you listen to me. Somebody puts their hands on you, you do what you got to do, and you're not going to get in trouble. And if you're going to do it, do it. Do it the right way. Like, don't go half, because they're going to come back. I was taught if you have to fight with somebody, you do it and go all the way in on them so that they think about it before they ever message you again.
Mm-hmm.
Butt Knuckles, what a name. He said your podcasts are getting better and better, man. I don't get a chance to catch them all, but this is fire. Keep doing your thing. Salute. Hey, Butt Knuckles, that's a fire name. I don't know how you put those two words together, but salute, man.
Salute. Yeah, I was always taught to, you don't swing first.
Nah. I mean, I'm on the fence with that. If you feel like you're in danger, because the first punch a lot of time predicts the fight. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We all know that. If I can get my thing off on you, if
Oh
I
yeah.
can throw that first one in there and catch you before you know what's coming, the fight's usually over.
Yep.
So I have told him, don't let nobody put their hands on you. But at the same time, if they make you fear them and you're afraid of them and they have you believing that they're about to do something, act on it. Act on it. Otherwise, you might be, next thing you know, be looking up, laying on the ground, looking around, going, what happened?
Hmm.
You know, don't lie to me and be like, well, he was about to, Dad. No, only if you feel like you're in fear somebody's going to do something, then it's your job to do it to him before he does it to you. That's why I had this friend I talked with a friend and he was like, why do you go so crazy when you get to fighting? And I tell him it's kind of out of fear. I don't want nobody to hurt me. So my job is to hurt you. You know, and I do that out of fear. Who wants to get beat up? Who wants to walk around with knots on their head and a black eye and their bell ringing for 3 days? Not me. So if somebody's got to walk around looking like Martin with a peanut allergy, it's going to be you, not me.
Yeah.
How many times have we looked like that and still won though?
A couple times, but it still sucks because the people at the gas station don't know that when I come in there to get a soda and
Exactly.
you know what I mean?
They
Like,
say we lost. I know.
hey, they looking at me like, damn, someone whooped your ass.
They did, but you should see the other guy.
Yeah, you should see the other guy. They're like, yeah, all right, yeah. I think I seen him earlier. You talking about the guy with the busted knuckles? Yeah, he was in here earlier. He poor him.
Hey, but now everything is like you were saying, everything's posted now. You know what I mean? And things turning. It's not like you were saying back in our days where you had to go, you know, look for bum
Oh
fight
no.
crew videos or, you know what I mean? Like people are posting fights like crazy. I follow a whole bunch of them on my Instagram.
Yeah, you don't have to look for anything. It's there.
Yeah.
Chances are it'll find you.
I tell people my record's 7-11 on purpose because I want them to underestimate me when they do fight me.
See, that's what's I don't know my record.
Yeah, I really
I
don't.
couldn't give you an honest count on how many fights I've, and that's not saying I'm a badass. I can't give you I would have to like sit down and write them down and think back to like childhood. I don't know how many fights I've been in. I don't.
Yeah.
It's
It's a
Been
been
a
a
lot.
lot.
long time. I
It's
have
a
not been in
lot.
a fight in a long time. Boxing with Hunter's hands, but that's nothing.
My last, I don't even want to say what my last fight was. It's not as long ago as I wish, but anyways. I will say this, man. I'm not an instigator. I am a very humble person, and humble will get you punched in the face. Like telling people, look, man, going somewhere, they take that as a sign of weakness. Like, especially when they're already being aggressive. And I'm one of them dudes that'll do that. I'll be like, I try to like look out for the other person. Hey, man, look, just go on somewhere. A lot of times I'll tell them, leave me alone. This ain't what you want to do. And they'll push the issue. And I had a fight last year that I got in with somebody in February of last year. And we actually fought 3 times back to back because the
Damn.
dude just could not take the fact that I whooped him. And this guy was high smoking Billy Crystal. And if you ain't never fought a fight with somebody that's on something like that, you ain't never fought before. I hit this dude with everything I had. I'm talking about like I know it's lights out. I know it's lights out. I felt it. I felt it. I mean, the impact of it hurt my wrist and my elbow and shot pain all the way up my arm off his jaw. And I'm like, yeah. And he stumbled sideways and he looked at me and his eyes doubled in size. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God. It's
They just keep
February and this
coming
dude
back.
is drenched in sweat because he's been messing with that crystal. And after I whooped him the first time, I said, go on somewhere, man, go on. Right? I done swung on him. And when we were swinging, I swung so hard that the clip on my watch, and it was an expensive watch, broke and it hit the ground. And he picked that up and threw it, like threw my watch. And I was like, oh, boom. And so after we fought the first time, it was on a job site too. And the employees, they all they know not to get involved. Some of them have seen me get into a war. They know to just stay out of it, let him do what they do. And so he kept running his mouth. And I was like, what do you want to do? He was like, rushed at me with his fist up. So we went again. And the second time he was getting up, I walked off. I was like, just stop, man. I don't want to fight with you. Like at this point, I'm pleading with him, like, stop, please, man. Just stop. And he, come on, gets up again. And I'm like, all right, man. It's time to end this. So We fought
Yeah.
the third time, and after the third time, I was like, "You want to go again?" And he's like, I'm like, yeah, leave me alone, man. Please leave me alone. And
Now,
once again, I'm gonna reiterate this. I am not the Hulk. I am not a trained fighter. I'm not the biggest, baddest dude in the world, but I do have heart, man. And that's a bad thing sometimes. Heart has gotten my ass whooped
oh,
more than once, man. My heart has gotten me hurt a couple times.
hey, well, here's the question that determines whether he made a chess move or not. Did you get the watch back?
Yeah.
Oh,
Hell
all
yeah.
right.
Hell yeah. I mean the band was broken. So I took the band and actually the dude that's in here right now, Southside Frog, he had gave me the watch as a gift. And I remember he seen the watch in the truck. He was in the truck. He's like, "What happened with the watch?" I said, "Well, me and old boy got to fight and the band snapped." But I went and got it fixed and whatnot. So yeah, I got my watch back. It was just the whole thing of that's how it goes. I didn't want to fight. And it started off with me telling him, yo, I ain't trying to fight. And when he approached and he got inside my personal space, I did what I'm supposed to do. I checked him, boom, like shoved him, like get out of my space. And at the moment that you put your hands on somebody, things have just gotten real. But what am I supposed to do? Let you continue to come forward at me until you strike me? No, that's not about to happen, man. I can't let it. You know,
I'm a
if you
pretty, in real life, I'm a pretty aggressive person. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Like, I'm very aggressive. That's what I went to prison for. You know what I mean? You can, people see the DRs in prison when I was in prison in the Supermax and all that. Like, but I'm always like that. And I'm not gonna lie though, it's something that I've always wanted to work on because it's always got me into trouble.
right.
You know what I mean? So, and because like I'm very calm and cool, but I just flip. I go from 0 to 100 like super quick.
Well, like
You
like
know what
me
I
and you
mean?
were talking
So
about the other day, you got to figure out how to like recognize that, and it took me a long time to, and like years of counseling. Like I have no shame in talking about the
yeah,
counseling that I went to. It took
no,
me
that's the only way I'll be able to
years,
fix it.
yes, years of counseling before I figured out how to control myself because I was very violent. I was very quick to just
Yeah,
pop off. You know what I mean? Like everybody else would be having a good time, and I would pop off, and then they would just be like, "Well, what happened?" When it's all over, they're like, what did you do? What happened? Why were you fighting?" And to
you
me,
know,
it makes sense. To me, it makes total sense on why I did
right?
what I did. And as I'm
Yes,
trying to explain it to other people, I can see it in their eyes. They're looking at me like I'm a nutcase.
yeah,
Like, yo, this dude shot out. Like, dude, what did you just? What?
you
What?
know, I
Yeah.
know
Like,
exactly what you mean.
like you punched dude because he took your beer. There's 60 of them in the kitchen. Like, who cares if he picked your beer up? There's 60 more in the kitchen. But to me, it's like, yo, you know that's mine. You just took like, so I feel obligated and right in what I did. But it took many years of learning when that's coming because I couldn't sense it. I
Right?
didn't know it was coming. A lot of times these fights would take place, and then afterwards I would feel terrible because A, either the person didn't deserve it, B, I went too far, or C, it just should have never happened.
Yeah,
And after going through counseling, they taught me like ways to like foresee it before it was coming. And I look for that now. Like the things that they taught me, from the sweaty palm to the confusion to feeling disoriented to not really listening to what a person's saying no more because I've now withdrawn into my head because my body is about to react without the permission of my mind. Like
right.
I learned these things, man, and I really do. And shout out to the therapist Patricia Collins, man. I really do. I utilize it because I believe this, man. Hurt people hurt people. And
Mhm.
I was a really damaged person. And I took my pain out on anybody that opposed me. Anybody that even acted like that's what they wanted to do. They were going to catch something that didn't belong to them. You just caught an ass whooping that I wanted to give somebody when I was 9. You know what I mean? That kid that pushed me and took my bike when I was 9 at 23 years old, you just caught his ass whooping.
Mm.
And I didn't really realize that until taking counseling and sitting down and talking about it. So I suggest once you get in a position, man, to really seek out somebody to talk to. Otherwise,
Yeah,
you know as well as I do, it's only a matter of time before handcuffs go back on you.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
listen, fellas, I got to bounce, but I got a question when I leave. I want y'all to answer. Who would win in the prison cook-off? Because I seen the Ian Big Dude. He is booming on that cook-off challenge stuff for the prison guys out of
I
YouTube.
kill it.
Oof.
I'll grill up all kinds of stuff.
how about Jay Williams when it comes to cooking, man? When it
I'm a monster.
Oh man, this is
I
gonna
haven't
be
even done no
epic.
cooking videos. I'm a monster. Yeah, I used to do all that, from making cakes to making
Yeah,
ice cream, like, to candy. Candy was a big hustle. Peanut brittle, like,
salute
it's
plug.
serious. Yeah, salute. Thank you. Bit my tongue. Thank you for stopping in, plug. I
Yeah, I
still,
love
hey,
doing that.
I'm not gonna lie. I still make prison food at times. My kids will be like, "Daddy, make one of them
Sometimes,
prison pizzas." I'll be in there cutting up pickles with the chili packets and the
yes,
whole nine, mayonnaise and ranch, and they're looking at
crushing up
the
the
ingredients like,
chicharrones.
yeah, they're looking at the ingredients like, "What is this?" And when I'm done, yeah,
Fire,
it's like that. Philly Mike said
fire.
Banky is a beast with cooking for sure. Banky is a beast with the cooking. Banky did 33 years. I'm sitting here talking about things that Banky was cooking when I was 10. You know what I mean? But hey, I remember when I first came into prison, they still had the mackerel in the can. Like, they were giving us the sardines in the can, and they were, you know what common fare is. They were
Yeah,
giving it to the common fare diet guys, and they were like literally coming back with the cans of, I don't even know if they still sell sardines in the can in the store, but these dudes are coming back with the sardines in the cans, and that all changed, man. Over time, prison just got worse and worse, especially when it comes to the feeding.
yeah.
When
Well,
Obama
because
became president and he did those budget cuts, oh my God! If you didn't have a canteen, you starved. We got
yeah,
hit
and
hard,
then
hard, hard.
not only that, but like these other companies like Keefe were weaseling. You know, they weasel their ways into there, and like, I watch the prices go up every few months.
Dude,
It'd only be like
tobacco.
10 cents, but to us, 10 cents can be a lot sometimes. You know what I mean?
Here's the
We
worst
make
part of it.
10 cents an hour.
The worst part is the prices on commissary and other things have gone up year after year after year, every
Yeah.
single month. The one
Hmm.
thing that has not gone up in the Department of Correction in 30 or 40 years are the wages. Guys are still being paid the same wages that they were being paid in 1980.
Right.
So 27 cent an hour might have got you something back in 1980. But in 2023, 27 cent an hour is barely going to get you soap, shampoo, toothpaste, a couple
Yeah.
soups, and if you're lucky, a bag of coffee. You're talking, I think, the 27 cent, and it's not 40 hours. I think you can get like 30 hours or 28 hours a week. I remember my state check being like, I think it was like $32 a month.
Dang.
How do you live off of $32 a month?
You make a hustle. Take
You
that
make a
$32.
hustle. You're right.
Hey, you get you a brownie hustle, and you take that brownie hustle and you move up to selling cigarettes. And after the cigarettes, you get you some trees. After the trees, you get you some other stuff. And then you just keep going from there.
Hey, once I realized I could tattoo, like, I knew I
Oh
could
yeah.
draw. I knew I could draw, but I was always
Yup.
like scared of tattooing because there's no erasing. But
Yup.
I had a homeboy I used to watch, and he would be like, "It's okay to make a mistake as long as you know how to hide your mistakes."
Hmm.
And I was like, "What do you mean hide your mistakes?" She's like if you run a line that you don't like, just thicken that line up, and then thicken
Yeah.
another couple other lines up to kind of combat that line and blend it. I'm like, all right. He's like, and shading's a big deal. You can hide your mistakes with just shading. Once I learned how to tattoo, I didn't need anything or anybody.
No, because you make so much.
I mean, and it was, but the only problem with tattooing in prison is it's not just, I mean, it's not a job. Like, you become a slave to the tattoo gun. When
Yup.
everybody else is outside, I'm booked up, and guys don't want to hear what you have to do. So if I
Right.
decide I want to go to rec today, but I'm supposed to tattoo somebody this morning at 8:30, he's not trying to hear that I want to go outside to the yard. Me and him are potentially going to get into it because I want to go to the yard. So it's like the same thing that'll get you by can also get you hurt.
Yup.
Yo, I'm loving the names tonight, man. Mikey the Mutt. I made prison candy for guys at work. They didn't believe it till they tried it. Salute from Orlando. Hey, prison candy's a big seller. You get them Q-tip sticks, pull all the fuzz off them Q-tip sticks, get them little medicine cups, get to cooking them now laters and them Jolly Ranchers, and oh man, don't let some exclusive candy come in and you put a twist on it. I know guys that hit the yard with bricks of peanut brittle, and
Yup.
I remember the boy got beat up because the boy had made a bunch of suckers that was shaped like little wee wees, right? Like little dicks.
Hell
Uh,
no.
Look, he had a whole bunch of suckers that were shaped like little penises. And he was walking around and he had
What
some for the
the
other boys, and they were hey, this is crazy, man. This is the shit that stuck in my head.
hell? What?
So you got all these different gay dudes walking around sucking on these suckers that are shaped like little, and he walks up and he pulls it out of his mouth and goes to show it to dude. And he's like, hey, you want to buy one? And he put it towards dude's face and dude just hit him. Bah! He fell on the ground. The little penis-shaped suckers fell all over the ground. And it's another one of those situations where you just stand there and you're like, what have I done to my life, man? Like, when they ask you what you want to be when you grow up, you don't ever say a convict that's on a prison yard with guys selling penis-shaped suckers. It's just not an answer, man.
Oh, that shit's wild, bro. I never seen no shit like that.
It was terrible. It was all bad. Little balls and everything. Like he
There's
literally he made a mold. He had somebody make him a mold and then poured the hot, because you know that candy, when it comes out that medicine cup, it's hot. It'll take the skin off your hands.
Oh yeah.
But he was just pouring it into the mold, and then he would pull him out the mold and then take the saran wrap that comes on, the fruit or the sandwiches. Saran wrap's gold in prison. Saran wrap can be used for everything. And he would saran wrap them up, and there you go. Patrick's Music, thanks for the hours of entertainment, Jay. Salute to your switch in the free world. It ain't easy. You ain't told no lie. Thank you, Patrick.
Salute. Hey, there's all kinds of hustles, man. You do all kinds of stuff in there to make money.
There is. I've seen everything from sewing. Sewing's a big thing, and you ain't got to be gay to sew. I've seen straight savage dudes that knew how to sew. That will, what you need sewed? Yeah, I can sew some. Yeah, I'll put pockets in your sweatpants. Bring them to me, like.
Yep.
And I think one of the biggest hustles, one of the best hustles you can have, is if you know how to cut hair. Don't mess around and be the prison barber. You're the prison barber.
But that's the same thing.
He's not
same thing with the tattooing, bro.
Yeah, he's not the prison barber. Nobody's gonna beat the prison barber up. You get a good barber in there, he's golden. Somebody gets to arguing with him and wants to fight with him, there's a line of dudes that are gonna step up and stop that. No, he's got to. No. We got a barber in here. No, go ahead, leave him alone.
Hey, I knew this dude who had a fire brownie hustle, bro. I'm talking like he would make so much. And then one day, somebody found a hair in one, and that dude's brownie hustle went to shit instantly. He couldn't sell a brownie to save his life. That shit sucked. I felt bad for dude.
Yeah, hey, drawing, especially like around the holidays, Christmas, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day.
That was
we take holidays in prison very serious.
Yeah.
Like you can make 50 St. Patrick's Day cards and sell them all. And out here, the most somebody might do is like Happy St. Patty's Day. But in there, if you got a drawing hustle, from the handkerchiefs to the cards to envelopes. Yeah, even the envelopes. Like I remember when dudes were selling, they would just get a box of 50 envelopes and airbrush each and every one of them, or draw Mickey. Mickey Mouse and SpongeBob seem to be like century favorites.
I did hundreds of Elsas. Hundreds. I did probably hundreds of Nightmare Before Christmas, because that was my hustle, is portraits, realism, stuff like that. So that was where I made my money, because I'll sell a portrait for, $100, $110.
My dude, Frog, that's the dude Dustin Hart said, I used to want to be the white guy in prison selling rainbow dildos to gang members. Unfortunately, I ain't made it to prison yet. Come on, man. Come on. My dude, Frog, y'all keep asking about me. Jay is a friend. Well, here it is. Jay's so truthful, it hurts at times. Go ahead and get a haircut. Jay will roast the shit out you on your fucked up haircut. Hey, that's the truth. But it's all out of love, man. I'll say things to friends that I won't allow nobody else to say to them. But if I'm joking you or I'm clowning you, it's because 9 times out of 10, I know somebody else is going to do it, and I'll address you so you go tighten up real quick so nobody else does it. But I'm not going to do it with a bunch of people standing around. Like, if it's just me and you, I'll clown and I'll joke. But I won't let nobody else do it, man.
Yeah.
What we got in here? Crystal Slauson. What up, J and AZ? Salute, Crystal Slauson.
Salute. Thank you. Salute.
Blake McCurry said, me and my 4 dudes would gamble off spades. I became a monster spades, sent that money through. Yeah, but see, here's the thing with the cards, man. And I did my fair share of gambling. You better get that money up front. Make them put the money in the bag and have somebody hold the bag, because at the end of the night, if you got to rely on him to go to the cell and get the money, and he decides he don't want to pay, then now you're in a position.
Hey,
And then
and
sometimes
prison's
you
petty. Prison's
very petty.
petty. Hey, I knew these two like OGs. They were older cats, and uh, they were both Mexican. They ran with the Rasta, and they so in prison, chess is like
It's a big deal.
it's a big deal because that's your intelligence. So if
Mm-hmm.
somebody is shitting on your chess game, that means they're shitting on your intelligence level,
Grounds to fight.
right? So these dudes in Supermax, we can't play with each other like that, like in front of each other. So we have to yell out the numbers, and then we move the pieces according to the numbers. These dudes played for like 3 or 4 years every day. They got into one argument, and then 3 years later, they met each other on the yard. So they had met each other on the yard when I had gotten there, and they got into a knife fight over it.
Mm-hmm.
It was wild.
I remember. I mean,
One dude died over it.
I remember being in the hole, man, and playing chess underneath the door. You know, you like draw the chessboard on a piece of paper, and you yell
Yep.
down to somebody else. I'm moving my pawn from A3 to A5. Like those are
Oh,
things I
see,
remember.
we used to do it. We would number it 1 through 64. So
Yeah,
then, and
same
then we would
same
just
difference.
call it out and be like,
Yeah.
1 to 64. There were some dudes that played technical with the B6 and all that, but most
Patrick's
dudes
music.
couldn't do it.
Patrick's music said, "What's the hardest switch to turn off post prison?" For me, it's invasion of space. I don't
Yes,
like people being up on me. I
yes,
think that's all ex-cons. Inmates in general, we're big. We don't have much privacy. So
right,
like you're big on you don't stand. General rule is there should be 2 feet at all times between you and the next man.
yeah.
So I can be in a grocery store and if I feel somebody on my back or on my
I'll,
neck,
I'll say something.
like turn around like, hey, can you do me a favor and back up
Yep,
off me? And they might be on the phone, not even notice they done stepped up too close, and I will legitly turn around and like, hey, can you do me a favor? Like you're a little too close. So post
yep.
prison, yeah, I think most people would agree that have done time. Space is a big thing. You don't get in somebody's
Big
space.
thing. When I first got out, I had just spent 3 years in solitary confinement, and I only had human contact with 5 people my entire time. And with that being said, I was used to being in a small space,
Mm-hmm.
and I had gone out to a restaurant with my mom and my aunt, and I just ducked out because there was so many people around. I wasn't used to it. I think I'd only been out for like 6 days.
Going to straight panic mode.
Yeah, well, I got up and I said I have to use the bathroom, and had to have been almost 30 minutes. My aunt came in there because they thought that I was doing drugs or something. But I was just sitting on the toilet when she looked over and she's like, "What the hell are you doing in here?" I'm like, "I'm just comfortable." Like I felt comfortable. It took me a while to get out of that. I used to go sit in the bathroom because I would just feel comfortable because it was so small.
Mm-hmm. I remember
You know what I
locking
mean?
my door, my bedroom door when I first got out. I would lock my door to the bedroom. My wife's like, "Why are you locking the bedroom door?" And I'm like, "So that we're safe." She's like, "This is our house. We are safe." But I was just so used to the door being locked that I legitimately would get up in the middle of the night and check to make sure like my bedroom door was locked.
Hmm.
Because you're not going to sleep in prison with your door open. You're not. The moment that door opens, you're up. You know what I mean? If that door pops open for any reason at all, your initial reaction is boom, feet on the floor. Like, why did my door just open?
Hmm.
So even after coming home, I couldn't sleep. It took me a while before I could even sleep on the couch. And I'm in like the midst of my loved ones, but
Hmm.
I'm still having issues sleeping with people moving around. My dad was like that.
Yeah.
Like he could, if he slept, everybody had to sleep. When he laid
Right.
down, everybody laid down because he like prison messed him up to the point that he couldn't have people moving around him while he was asleep.
Yeah.
It's something I've worked on. I've gotten better. Like Mitch said, salute to the real at Jay. Thank you for an example. Much peace and success to you, my brother. That always ends bad. It's good for the real. 100 salute. Hey, salute and thank you, Mitch, man. Thank you for your time and your donation. Base, Vast Improvement Jams. This is the dude that actually pulled up on me, AZ, that
Oh,
gave me
yeah.
Jay Willem. Yeah, man, good people, man. He's the one that tracked me down. Like
Salute.
I was talking about earlier, people think you can't get touched. I dropped the video. Listen, I dropped the video and I was on a job site and the address was in the background. And I was sitting, I'm pretty sure I was in my Avalanche, yes, when this dude pulled up on me just like that.
Yeah.
And he saw me at the same time that I saw him. And it just goes to show you, man, watch what you say. If somebody wants to see you, they'll see you. This dude cross-referenced that address, got to looking into houses that were on the market, houses that were for sale, houses that were empty, just like that. Boom. He was down on top of me. But hey, thanks for the gift, man, and thanks for the love.
That's cool though.
It was, man. It was really
I'm
cool,
sure
but
it
it
was a little
just
scary at first.
shows you how quick it could have gone wrong. I
Mm-hmm.
could have been one of these dudes that offended somebody and they typed my address in and pulled up, and I could have
Yeah.
looked to the right and that could have been the last thing I ever saw.
Yeah.
Blake
Hey, did you
McCurry
have
said
to sleep on the
people behind
floor?
me. Yeah, I don't like people behind me either. What'd you say, Z?
Did you have to sleep on the floor for a while? Like it was more comfortable on the floor? Because I was so used to sleeping on those thin mats that I would sleep on the floor for a while.
No, hell no. I was so happy to be in a real bed. No, but I have had cellmates that preferred to sleep on the steel. Like I've had some dudes come in the cell before and be like, "Hey, you want this mat?" And I'm like,
What?
"What?" Yeah, several times, not one, not two,
Oh
several
man,
different dudes that were just hard body like that, and their
I
bodies look like that. I'm talking about like dudes that got like the muscles where muscles aren't supposed to be. Like
yeah
that's supposed to be a bone, but instead it's a muscle.
yeah
Like them type of dudes, like I had one cellmate that he would watch TV and he would lay on his bed instead of using a pillow to prop his head up or holding his head up with his elbows, he would
yeah.
just lean all the way back to where his back was almost touching the mat, and he would just stay there with his back about 2 inches off the
What
mat
the hell?
and would just lay there like for hours at a time in like a reverse plank position watching TV. And all you had to do is put the pillow behind your head
I've
and
been
be
like, hey,
comfortable.
bro, what are you doing?
He did. He laid there like that, and I looked, and there was like an area underneath his head and his back where he wasn't touching the bunk, and his arms are down by his head, and he would just be laying there watching TV. But I've had other cellies come in and take the mat straight off the top bunk. I'm like, "You want this?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah!"
Yeah, I'd be
Throw it
like,
right on
man,
there,
stupid. Hey,
and
I'm Cadillac in the night.
they sleep right on the steel, and then we got no AC, no heat, so in the
That's
wintertime,
crazy.
that steel stings. You can touch that bunk, and it's so cold that it's like it'll damn near burn you. And this dude's up there sleeping on the steel rack with nothing but a sheet. Not like he's taking
Savage, bro.
blankets. He's not taking the wool blankets and patching. No, he's laying a sheet up there and laying on the sheet.
That's some savage life
It's one
right
of them
there. That's
dudes
some
you look
savage
at like, man, I don't want no problems with this dude because it ain't a lot I can do to hurt him. He's got to constantly be hurting just from sleeping on that steel.
life. Oh, that's funny. Like
But I've
sometimes,
had
I would just sleep
crazy
on the
ones.
floor for a little bit, and then a couple hours, and then make it to the bed. But for a while, I couldn't sleep on a regular mattress.
Oh no, I'm big in the bed. Like I have a nice mattress, and I have
Yeah,
like you
definitely.
can tell what side of the bed is mine. Like my wife's like, we need to flip the mattress, your sides, dent it in. I'm like, good. Hey, yeah, leave my mat. Like, and I slept on my back for the longest time. That was a habit I
Yeah,
had to break. And if I don't sleep on the back, if I don't sleep on my back, I sleep on my left shoulder because in my cell, like I say my cell, in the cell, the way the
yeah,
cells were set up, I would sleep on my left shoulder so my back was to the wall.
to the wall. Yeah, definitely.
So I got so used to sleeping on my left shoulder that it started to cause shoulder injuries from all them years of just compressing my shoulder while I was sleeping. And
Hmm.
then I finally got to where now I can just pretty much sleep whenever. But it
Yeah,
took a
I'm the
while.
same now. Yeah,
It took a long time, man. It took years for me to get comfortable and kind of like I guess like somebody that went to war. They come back from the war and they still like
yeah,
certain things will trigger them even though they're not at
yeah.
war no more. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
It
because
took
we have to learn to sleep and eat a certain way. Like you know, even though I had a celly, like, and we lived together, you know, we would still like, when we're going to the bathroom and we're sitting down, we'd still put our boxers all the way to the floor.
right.
So if I gotta hop up to fight, I'm not tripping on my boxers. And then you learn things like that, and then they get instilled in you, like putting laying down and facing your back to the wall always.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So even
Old
when you're
habits
working
die
out,
hard. Old habits die hard.
yeah, those are the things that kept us alive, though.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Hey, look, hey, Woody, right here. Hey, Jay, remember when you sold the two matches into one? Hey, that was a million times. You take the mattress, you split the mattress open. Somebody goes to hold something, you go get their mattress, take their mattress, slit your mattress, and shove their mattress inside yours, and then sew it back together.
That's what's up.
That's awesome until they come through on the shakedown, and then they take
Yep.
it from you, and you go back. We call it the Cadillac.
Yep.
You
Cadillac.
go from sleeping on the Cadillac back to a regular mat. Now you're like, oh,
It
and they're usually, because they caught you with two mats or a doubled up mat, they're usually not
Yep.
going to give you a good mat. They're going to go find the shittiest, most lumpiest, thinnest mat they can find. Everything's going to shift it to the middle. There's no padding on either end. It's all in the middle. So it's like a speed bump you're laying on.
Hey, we had like in county, a lot of times you'll get a lot of like people do pranks and jokes and stuff. They do a lot in prison too, but it's more in county. And we would have dudes. We would tell them to go to the bubble and go up to the intercom, and we would tell them that was a bed bug scanner, and you would see dudes going up there, putting these mattresses up and down, and then the COs would be in the bubble, or the DOs, they'd be like, "Hey, you're not doing it right. You got to flip the mattress upside down." And every once in a while, you would get some DOs that would go along with it, but you would just see dudes there for like 5 minutes. Everybody's over here laughing, and it was always some fun shit.
Hey, D at 710 said anyone have to sleep with a fan on to this very day.
Yes.
To this very day. 7 nights a week, winter, summer, it does not matter. My fan is on, and even if the fan's not blowing on me, I have to have the noise.
The noise.
I think that's a lot of people do that though. I don't think that's just a prison thing. I think that's a sleep thing, but I don't really remember me doing that before prison. But I did come home, and I remember that first night I got home, I couldn't sleep. And I'm like, why can't I sleep? I'm really drunk. I should definitely be able to sleep right now. And I was at my sister's house. I said, do you have a fan? And she was like, yeah, we have one in the top closet in the back bedroom. I went in there and I got that fan out. I sat it down, turned it on, and within probably 2-3 minutes, I was asleep.
Slept like a baby.
Slept like that baby. Hey, somebody said, Southside Frost said, Easy Ruction, you ever do Tent City?
Yeah, I did Tent City. Probably I did. So my first time in Tent City, I got 6 months. We called it the Inn Yard. And it's a real big yard. It's a lot of tents. You have tents up in the front that are real big. We call that like the Scottsdale area, which is like Scottsdale is the rich part of the Phoenix metro area. And then you had you had the middle part, we called that Inn Yard. And then we had the south side, which was like all the tents in the back where the COs didn't want to walk all the way down. So you could get away with doing a lot more. Yeah, it was wild there.
Frog's done it. He's done time everywhere. Like he's never done like years and years and years. But he's one of them dudes that if he goes to a state, he's going to get locked up there. Like he's been locked up in a lot of different states and a lot of different jails. Like if you can send him to Montana, you can send him to Oklahoma, you can send him to North Dakota, and he is somehow or another going to get locked up there. And then he's like, all right, never going to North Dakota again. North Dakota sucks. I'm going home. No offense to anybody in North Dakota.
They shut the tents down now, though. They shut it down now, but yeah, the tents was wild. It was like it was its own universe in itself, because even in county we were racially segregated.
I got to answer this. Juan Gotti said he was asking a question too. Do I think that Lance has cancer? Yes, 100%. I've talked to Lance on it, so we've talked about it. And it's not something to cover up weight loss from drugs or anything like that. The man's not lying.
Lance.
He's not lying. No, I knew about it way before the weight loss. I knew about it way before any of y'all knew about it. So, do I think he's lying? No, I don't think he's lying. I think people want to think that because of some of his choices over the past year, but no, he's not lying. So I answered that. And salute to you if you're watching, Big Lance. I'm not lying for anybody. I put that on my kids. I'm not lying. I'm not covering for anybody. He came to me at one of the jobs, and we talked about this a while back. And it wasn't just a conversation. Like when somebody gets that type of news, it breaks them down. And he completely broke down, and we discussed it, and I hugged him. I told him I loved him. I said, I love you, dog. And Gonna be all right, man. We're fighters, and that's what we do is we fight. So if you ain't never rumbled, rumble, young man, rumble.
Well, and not only that too, but you know,
I wish it
lying
wasn't
about
true,
one thing,
Juan Gotti. I wish it wasn't true,
right?
but
Yeah,
unfortunately, it is true.
but lying about relapsing and then lying about cancer are two different things, and Lance is not the second one to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he wouldn't do that.
Patrick's music. What are your thoughts on After Prison Show? I don't have any thoughts on After Prison Show. That was my thought. I know he's a new father, so good luck to him with the children and being a dad. But it seems that he resents other prison YouTubers, like we took something from him or something, or like we should all be getting together and I don't know, letting him be the pivot man and a circle jerk. I don't know, but I don't owe him anything for prison YouTubing. Like, cool, you did prison YouTube, but he's clearly feels some type of way. Let me explain this to you. When it comes to YouTube, and there's nothing I can do, AZ can do, or anybody else can do to affect your YouTube check. The only thing that's going to affect your YouTube check is you and
Yeah,
the content you put out. I think at one point he was making really good money. That money slowed up. He had to go get a job, and now he's pissed off. And I think he blames all the other guys that came behind him and started doing prison YouTube. I've seen his comments, and I've always tried to be nice to dude and say salute and show respect, but it's never none of that in return. I wish him the best, but at the end of the day, you can't be mad at us for doing prison content. Like, that's like Ford getting mad that Chevy came along and wanting all the credit. Like, I do what I do. My story's my story. Your story's your story. And it's my last time saying salute. Best of luck to him, man. I don't have no thoughts on the dude. I don't know him. I did see him in prison here and there, but we weren't in the same building, weren't on the same yard, and never was my guy. But do I give him his credit for being one of the originators of YouTube? Absolutely. Am I gonna say he's one of the goats? No. How am I gonna call him the goat? If I'm gonna give anybody the title of goat, I'm gonna give it to myself.
I was gonna say.
You know what I mean? Like, but I do think that he was great at what he did. I do think he played a major role, and I do respect him for
Well,
his hand in helping create the genre, and I do give him that title.
well, here's I don't. I've never really watched a lot of his content, so I'm not saying anything bad, but I mean, at the end of the day, really, when you box yourself into one genre, you do that to yourself. You're branching out yourself now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because at some point in time,
It comes to
you
an end.
know, yeah, something else happens and comes along, and then there's like I think like one prison channel gets created almost every day.
And not only that,
Think
man, there
about
comes a
that.
time where you get tired. Like, I have so much more to talk about, but I'm so much more than a prison channel.
Right,
I have so many opinions on so many things, but constantly talking about prison. That's why I stopped dropping so many videos, because there's times I'll drop videos and I have to talk about it. I have to relive it mentally.
right,
So y'all think it's just a video. What you don't realize is that once I turn the camera off, I'm stuck feeling like I was feeling the day that I witnessed whatever I talked about. I've got
right.
that knot in my stomach again. I'm all sweaty. My body feels tingly. Like, I literally, that's when I say, let's relive it. I go back to that moment and I tell it exactly the way I remember it. Well, once the camera goes off, I'm there mentally. Then that
Yeah,
night I go to sleep and I dream about these things. But rather than me witnessing actually like it played out, I seen somebody else go through something. In my nightmares, I'm the person going through it. So it has a certain it does a certain amount of damage to you mentally after a while, because you become reinstitutionalized when you just talk about prison every day, every day, every day, every day. Like,
yeah,
you have to kind of span away from it, and that's what I'm trying to do. Is I'll always stay true to the roots of what started me, where I came from. So I'll
yeah,
always be talking on something that's either prison, crime, street related, something around that area. But you got to be bigger. Like I told you, you can't be a one trick pony.
yep,
People will watch, and after a while, they'll be like, "Well, I done heard it all," and they'll stop watching. You have to keep it fresh. You have to be able to maneuver and take different lanes, or you're gonna lose the people. People will stop watching.
yep. Yeah, I've been doing like I try different types of content all the time. You know, because I don't think that the algorithm says, okay, you only make this content. Because I've had videos do well that had nothing to do with the prison genre,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can go back sometimes and make a video and do okay. You know what I mean? Like, so I think once you're in an algorithm
Mm-hmm.
and you make a few videos in that same algorithm, I almost feel like there's multiple algorithms to it because there's time, like I said, some videos do well, some don't, and I just been trying different stuff out because I don't want to.
Well, what
I
they're
never
doing is
really talked
when
about it a lot.
people will start watching you, what they're going to do is they're going to go look at what these people watch. Now,
Right.
if one of your videos went viral and the majority of the people that watch that video watch comedy videos, then they're going to promote your channel towards more people that watch
You know.
comedic stuff. Now, if the
Right.
majority of your viewers on that video watch true crime, they're going to push your video towards true crime. With me, I'm in the entertainment. That's when you look at what I'm in. My genre. My genre is entertainment. My job is to entertain. I'm not
Yeah.
comedy. I'm not drama. I'm not trolling. I'm not. There's no prison genre. I'm in the entertainment drama. The entertainment genre. And then you got the drama genre, which is people don't really talk about it, but that's a real thing too. Like
Yeah.
they're legitimately become a drama genre where it's just content creators that no matter what they do, every video, everything they do revolves around drama. I
Yeah.
never, ever want to be that channel. Am I going to deal with drama at times? Absolutely. Am I going to deal with adversity? Absolutely. Do I want that to be what it is every day when I turn the camera on? No, I refuse. I
And
enjoy
it's
what I
really
do. We're
easy
going
to
to keep
get
it that
sucked
way.
into it.
Very easy. Like I
Very.
told you, I said the best response you can give is no response. And I learned that way before YouTube. I learned that in
Right.
dealing with females back in the day. Like if you and somebody separate, if you go chasing behind a girl, she will laugh at you, she will clown you. Stop calling her. Stop texting her. Don't do anything. No response at all and see what happens. It'll drive her crazy. She'll go nuts because she doesn't know where your head's at. I learned that young when I was younger. It's the same thing with YouTube. Somebody's coming at you, they're making videos about you, they're talking about you. Don't say anything. And they're going to keep refreshing, waiting for your response, waiting for your response. Because in order for a fight to happen, they need your response. I'm not
Hmm.
giving you none of that. You're going to have to get it like I got it out the mud. Go make some real content, get off my nuts, and go do your thing. But if you're sitting around thinking that a beef with me is going to happen, A, you've got to have what I have. So when you come to the table, you've got to be able to, if you just want to go YouTube, you've got to be able to match my subscribers or have more, or at least be relevant. And if you want to go to the extent of one of us is really going to lose something, then we're talking about bank accounts. I'm not going to beef with a bum. If you ain't got nothing to lose, don't expect me to engage in a beef with you because the only one that can really lose in this situation is me. If you lose, you ain't got nothing. So what did you lose? That's how I really look at YouTube, man. This is a job for me. I love what I do, but it is a job. I make money doing what I do. I
Yeah.
make great money doing what I do. I'm not going to risk my check by arguing with some idiot. It ain't going to happen. Keep making your videos. I'm flattered. I've had dudes try to make whole comebacks off of me. Oh, I'm going to make this video and Jay's got to respond to this. And then when I don't respond, they go away. It's like,
Yeah.
well, that didn't work, man. So, damn, they kick some sand and they carry ass. They take their ball and go home.
Every time.
Let me check some of the comments. Mm, 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 mm.
Hey, what kind of fish you been catching?
Um, Stinky ones. Nah, a lot of what do they call it? Crappie, man, really big crappie. A lot of bass too. I'm,
There you
I'm
go.
glad, man. I'm glad that like I've gotten into this whole. I never. You couldn't tell me that I would want to go fishing one day. I used to think fishing was the most boring, pointless thing to do in the world because I never fished with anything but a worm. Like all I knew was find a worm, shove the hook up his ass, throw him out there in the water, and eventually something would eat him, right? But then once I figured out like these little fishing lures and stuff, especially
Yeah.
living on a lake, like there's so many fish out here. And the first time I caught a fish with a lure, I'm like, what? I thought like you only seen this stuff on like TV shows and video games. Like the fish really eat these little things.
Yeah,
And then I got into the whole boat, and
I
it's
had
cool,
a
but a lot of bass, man, a lot of bass, and a lot of crappie.
I got so one thing that you'll probably end up getting addicted to, especially if you get addicted to fishing. I love fishing. I've always done it. Um,
I love it. It's
but
great.
I used to collect antique and like vintage poles and bobbers and different lures. You wouldn't believe there's lures out there cost thousands upon thousands of dollars. Like I had one that was from like the 20s or something, and it was handmade.
Yeah, I've seen. I mean, I don't know how I ended up with so many. Like how I got so many different tackle boxes, but I have a whole bunch of tackle boxes, and they all have lures, and I didn't buy none of them. But I'm glad I have them. Sorry, trying to read the comments, man. I try to
Oh
stay
no, you're good.
engaged. So if I get quiet, it's not because I'm
I'll pick
falling
it up.
asleep; it's because I'm reading. Yeah, dun, 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 dun. Color Pencil said fishing is boring until you go with the right people, bro. Yeah, or until you start catching fish.
Right.
Fishing is really boring when you don't ever catch any fish.
But if you
And
don't ever
also,
catch fish, you're doing something wrong or you're fishing in the wrong place.
yeah, I never used to catch fish, man. Like never. BTH.
But it's also a place too, like it's a good place to clear your head because when you're talking and the rod is vibrating, that can mess it up. That can mess up your fishing.
Mm-hmm.
So that pure quietness where you can just sit there for a few hours
I blame
and
it on the
not have to.
kids.
What's that?
I blame it on the kids. They throw
Yeah,
rocks in the water. They come running across the dock. I'm like, stop, man! You're gonna scare the fish off.
yeah.
And they're like, what? Throw these rocks in the water, punk. She told me I was scared the fish off. They dumb enough to eat that little ass fish. They're gonna come back.
And they do.
So look out for the hook. Philly in the house. Okay, I'm out there. Somebody in the wilderness. You in the fishing, Jay. Big AJ, you in the fishing? Just surf fish bass myself out of my kayak. Any reason to like G? Another reason to like you, G. I just purchased a house on the lake. I live in a house on the lake, and I have. I guess
Fire.
I don't know if it's a kayak or a canoe. It's made by Field and Stream. It's big. It's green. You sit down in it. It fits like 3 or 4 people, and then I've got a John boat. I think it's like a 16-foot John boat, and I just went and got the batteries and the motors for that, and was out on that yesterday. But that is my routine now. And you know what's crazy, man? My routine used to be, I would come through the door, and my intentions from that point there were no good. It's like I'm off to the liquor store, to the trap, or out to do things I shouldn't be doing. Now I literally come home. My kids run up to me, Daddy. I say what's up to them. I hug on them. I go in the house, kiss the wife, and then boom, I change shoes. I head out back,
Yep.
straight down the steps until I get to the dock. My pole's already sitting there. I grab it and I cast out in the water. That's usually when you call me every day. What am I doing?
Fishing.
I'm standing on my dock fishing, and I do that 7 days a week. If I have a bad day at work, I'll come home, I'll pick the, and I don't keep the fish. Like I haven't caught nothing really worth keeping. I've caught like, I think like the biggest fish I've caught was probably maybe 12 inches, 14 inches. But I catch them, and I'll get this. I've got this big metal bucket, like pan, like a big wash pan. I'll fill it up with water. I'll throw all the fish in there. I'll look at them, and my dogs will sniff them. And then when I'm done, I dump them back in the lake.
Hey, that'd be fun to scuba dive down there too.
Oh man, I can only imagine. I can only imagine.
You take like a metal detector down there too. They got the underwater metal detectors.
Yeah, hey, the bear said, "Did you ever see dude from 23 and 1 in prison?" Yes, I did. Um, he was actually down in 9 building. I was in 7 building. We were on 2 separate yards, and I have almost a photographic memory. And I did not realize I knew him until in one of his videos he was showing his tattoos, and I remembered the 2 pistols he's got tattooed on his back. And in the moment I saw the 2 pistols, I instantly was able to go back and remember the 2 guys he was walking with, around what time I saw him, what year, what month. It's crazy. But yeah, we were locked up
Yeah.
together, but we were on 2 separate yards, and we didn't ever kick it in prison. But yeah, I was in prison with him just on a separate yard.
And salute to death.
Yeah, big salute to Death, man. Death has stayed humble since day one. Death has
Always.
never acted like anybody should give him some type of trophy. He does what he does, and that's why he has stayed relevant and done great at YouTube because he hasn't gotten his feelings. He's not mad that other YouTubers have come along and made a living. I think as a YouTuber, you should want other people to be able to join in on what you got going on. You should want others to be able to get a bag and provide their families with a better life. If you're in your feelings that other guys are becoming successful at YouTube, like you should really, really, really check yourself, man. Like none of us are king. I'm no king. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe in my own mind, but when it comes to YouTube, I'm far from king. You got guys like PewDiePie and Mr. Beast and guys that are seeing $1 million every single month. I'm just a drop in the bucket, and Death gets it. As long as he's still seeing the check, that guy's happy, and I'm
Yeah.
right there with him. Keep sending that check, and I'm happy. I don't care what the next man makes because it don't make no difference in my life,
Right.
you know. But yeah, big shout out to Death, man. Salute to Death.
And he put a lot of people on. He made a
A
lot of
lot.
people's careers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like a lot. It was, there's most people wanted to be on his channel for interviews because they knew
Yeah,
you get on there, there's
he
a
was the,
chance.
he was the no jumper of the prison drama. He was
Correct.
the if you could get that Death interview because we've seen it. And I don't take anything from the guys that went on to create their channels. Yes, they got the interview, but it was every video they put out after that or the quality of how hard they went in that interview that determined whether they had a channel or not after that.
Facts.
He may have brung them to the light, but he can't make you have a career. That's up
Mm-mm.
to you. The content, even
Yeah.
like with 1090 Jake, he interviewed 1090, right? 1090 had a phenomenal interview. Like he brought something to the table that not many people had seen before. Even from just his camera presence to the things he had to say, and then the videos he would go on
Yeah.
to post after that turned him into what he is today.
Yep.
He was given an opportunity to be on camera. He realized he was good at it, and the man is great at what he does. Big salute to 1090 Jake, and that man's killing it, man. I can never
Definitely.
take nothing from him. He is top notch at what he does, and I'm not. I've said things in the past that I don't stand on. When he first came onto the scene, I did not believe that there was a such thing as a white blood. I didn't. It was like you trying to convince me that Sasquatch was real. You know what I mean? Until I see it, I didn't believe it. Then once I realized that he was authentic, I felt like an asshole. I'm like, man, I judged this dude and didn't know what I was talking about, and for that I was wrong. You take away the gang title because you shouldn't even that shouldn't even matter. It really shouldn't. You take away the gang title. He's great at what he does, man. He's
Mm-hmm.
involved in his kid's life. He's living his best life, and if you can hate on that, then that's another one of those situations where you need to check yourself.
Yep.
He's getting a bag off this, and I love it. I love it. Let me see. Miss says, "Salute, Jay. Will you please talk about being a father?" I mean, what is there to say? Being a father is my everything. It's my reason. It is my gift. Before I was ever good at YouTube or good at speaking, I was good at being a dad. And I didn't know that, unfortunately, until I came home. I failed my first son prior to going to prison. I put the streets before him. I put my selfish wants and needs before him. I put females, crime, all that stuff before him. And a lot of that had to do with I wasn't with his mother. She was just my BM, my baby mama. We didn't really see eye to eye because of who I was in the streets. So I would just stop by here and there. I went to prison when he was 2, and I returned when he was 12. And I made him a promise prior to coming home that I would never leave him again, and that I would always be the dad that I should have always been. And I have lived up to my promise. I've guided him every step of the way since I've been home. We talked to this, we just moved. I told him he moved in with his girlfriend. I told him, I said, you will always have a place here with your dad. Always. Remember that. At 40 years old, you can always come home. With
Definitely.
my little boy and the little girl that we now have that we adopted, they're my life. My kids are my life. And my son, I'll tell you, he's spoiled. And I had to talk to my wife about this the other day. It's something I need to stop doing. Even when he's bad, I reward him. I take him out and I buy him new shoes and I buy him this. And she's like, he's being bad. Why are you doing that? And I'm like, I don't know. And then I come to realize it's not so much I'm rewarding him. I feel like I'm rewarding myself. When I give him the things that I didn't have or that we didn't have coming up, it feels good to know that I can do that for my child. And sometimes I do it a little too much, I guess. And it's something I got to work on. Like, I'm not really, when I'm buying them things, I'm buying them for him, but essentially I'm buying them for me, if that makes sense. Like, man, I would have loved to have that as a kid.
Right.
So I didn't. So I make sure he has it. Like, people that have been to my house and have seen his bedroom, it's like, yo, but bro, your son's room is like the size of my house. And I take pride in that. I take a lot of pride in being a father and being a mentor and guiding him and making sure that he doesn't, run down the road I ran down. Because the first time he shows up at the house with anybody that reminds me of who I used to be, yeah, we're going to have problems. But being a dad has been great. It's amazing, and I wouldn't trade it for this world. There has been moments that I've gotten in my head about doing things, or I should do this or I should do that. And the first thing that pops in my head is, can I live without my children? Could I wake up in a cell tomorrow morning and be okay with life, knowing that my son's going to wake up wanting to know where his dad is? No. I've also I'm holding myself back in a sense with YouTube and social media. I've turned down a lot of interviews because some of them require me to travel and be gone days at a time. And at this point, with my son being 5, these are years that I can't get back, years that I'm not willing to give up for, interviews. And I've got to get over that. I know I'm missing so much more that I could do with YouTube by not leaving. I'm just not ready to let him go. Every day he gets bigger. Every day he gets more independent, and that's scary to me. I don't want to ever face the day where my little boy won't kiss me on the mouth, or he's too big to say I love you in front of his friends. But to answer your question, how's being a dad? It's great, man. I love it.
Hell yeah. Salute. Salute to all the good fathers out there.
Dustin
It's a
Hart, where's
pleasure.
Joe from After Show been? Just kind of disappeared, so I was hoping there's some kind of explanation that isn't bad. He has been parenting, and I don't know that to be true, but I know this. Um, the month that my son was born, my whole life changed. I didn't get no sleep. I didn't have any time to do anything but be a dad. And that's the advice I give anybody that's about to have a kid. They're like, you got any advice? Here's the best advice you can give to a person that's about to have a kid. Go to sleep. Stop what you're doing right now and go get some sleep. Because the days of just being able to sleep when you want and sleep undisturbed once a baby shows up, them days are gone. So if I had to guess where Joe is at, I would say Joe is busy learning to be a dad, and when he's not being a dad, he's trying to get some sleep. Dustin Hart said, "Yeah, I have a 3-month-old." Yeah, so you already know sleep is a thing that I used to sleep holding my son. Like, you ever stood up and slept? I have. Like, my son, he knew. Like, the moment I sat down, he would start crying. So I would be standing there and I would be rocking him, and he would fall asleep, and I would fall asleep standing up, like completely standing up, snoring, legs locked, just standing there holding him. And then he would move, and I'd realize I was asleep. And so he said, "Yeah, what great advice. Hey, it is. That's real. If you got a baby on the way, turn this off right now. You need to back out of YouTube and go to sleep." Some TX Fly Girl said, "What's up, y'all? What's up, though? We got left my ass off. My daughter 3 now. Them days of sadly they grow overstay. Sadly they grow fast. They do, especially when you work a lot. I work a lot, so it's like you see your kids, and I'm 40, 50, 60 hours a week, and then the time on YouTube. I'll look over sometimes. It's like I'm not looking at the same kid. I'll go buy him shoes, and then I go in the store, and I'm like, "Let me get a size 12." And he's like, "I don't wear a 12. I wear a 13." And I'm like, "Damn, just 2 weeks ago you wore a 12."
It's crazy. They go fast.
Somebody asked me if I ever heard of JD Delay. I think y'all could do a great podcast. Love from Philly. I have heard the name, but I have not checked him out yet. So I'm going to check into him because I keep hearing a lot about him. So I'll definitely show some respect and check him out. Ruth Chris said, "The first year of parenthood is about like a meth binge. Sleep habits go to sleep." I was so happy when mine started sleeping through the night. You know, my wife, she messed up, man. We had a crib and everything, and she wanted to let the baby sleep with us, and I'm like, no, 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 no. I'd always heard that's bad. I'm like, nah, put him in his crib. She's like, nah, I can't let him cry. I'm like, man, put him in his crib. He will be okay. He will stop. Well, sadly enough, she'd never put him in the crib. We never used the crib. We ended up giving the crib away. And to this day, I sleep with him. He's 5, about to turn 6 in a couple months, and he's still not sleeping by himself. And that's strenuous. That puts a lot of strain on a relationship. A husband should be in bed with his wife, not in bed with his son. And my son is like, he's scared. And what am I going to say? Dad, I'm scared. I don't want to sleep by myself. I'm not going to send him to his room crying, knowing that he's in there scared. There's been nights I've tried, and I know that he's down the hallway and he's in his bedroom and he's underneath his blankets and he's scared and he's wondering why I'm letting him be like that. And what do? I head down the hallway and I'm like, move over, man. And he scoots over, give me the remote. He gives me the remote. Give me one of them pillows. He woke up the other night and he hit me in my chest. And I said, why'd you hit me? And he's sitting in the bed looking mad. He's 5. I said, why'd you hit me? He said, you took my pillow. I ain't got but one pillow. Why you got 2 pillows? I said, man, if you don't lay down, I swear to God, it's like 3:30 in the morning. Give me back my pillow. I said, take all the pillows. Here. But yeah, welcome to being a dad. Well, look, it is getting that time. It is almost 2 o'clock in the morning. We are 2 hours and 16 minutes. And as much as I love you guys and I love just talking and just kicking it, this is who I am. Me and AZ had these talks a lot. We just do what we're doing right now. We laugh and joke, and I enjoy doing it with y'all. Hope that
Definitely.
I entertained y'all. Help that I took up some of y'all's time, and I hope that somebody smiled tonight. To anybody out there going through anything bad, I want you to know that it gets better, and that somebody loves you, and that you are important. I want to share this with y'all before I get off of here. The house that I just moved from, that I had lived in for several years, beautiful house. My wife's niece ended up moving into the house. We wanted to keep it close by, and 2 weeks after she moved in, she had a roommate. The guy shot himself in our driveway. And this is the house I just moved out of. He was 25 years old.
Tragic.
His relationship with the girl he was with, from what I'm hearing, she was saying some really mean things to him, and she didn't realize what he was going through mentally. And he sat in the driveway where my oldest son used to park his car, right outside of my oldest son's room. Now, this is at our old house, not the house we're at now. And this was about a week ago, week and a half. Last Friday, I believe it was. 25 years
Yeah.
old. He shot himself in the driveway. His life is over. So anybody out there struggling, going through anything, please understand this. You are loved. You may not think so. You are needed. You may not think so, but you are. And the things you do
100%.
long after you're gone, they're going to affect the people around you. And think about that. I think about sometimes what the world would be if I wasn't here. Would anybody care? And even if you don't think they do, please understand that they do. Don't nobody love you, and ain't nobody told you they loved you in a long time. I'll say it. I love you. Y'all have a good night. Y'all be safe. AZ, thank you for coming on.
Hey, thank you for having me, brother. I
Hey,
appreciate everybody in the chat.
hey, we love y'all. Y'all get some rest. Y'all be safe. And until next time, y'all know what it is, man. Salute.
Salute.